And so, as we let the creativity flow, we practice remembering what we know. And hey, my friends, welcome to the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining once again. My name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man, welcoming you to another live broadcast here presented on behalf of Paradigm Shift Central, a portal for inspirational consciousness shifting media and building a global team of shifters. That's right, tonight we are doing another live broadcast for a very special version of our broadcast. It is another Paradigm Shift Central Synergy Circle open mic jam. That means it's an opportunity for us as a community to practice coming together, to be able to share poetry, to share some music, to be able to share some comedy. Stick around later. You'll get to watch me embarrass myself during the debut of my stand-up comedy routine. Oh God, I guess I have to do it now. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. For those of you in the YouTube chat, please drop an 1111 in the YouTube chat to confirm that you guys can hear me properly and that things are streaming through there. And for those of you tuning in on Facebook, welcome as well. Be sure to check out the YouTube link when you can. And for those of you also on any platform, please feel free to like this video and share it with your friends. And for those of you on Instagram, swipe up on my Instagram story to be able to join in there. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. So before we get into initial introductions and start with the poetry, let me just get a quick shout out to all the other shifters who are here with us tonight during the on-air broadcast. So fellow shifters who are here with me tonight, go ahead and gently unmute your microphone and make some noise and send some love to all the people who are tuned in tonight. So go ahead, just gently go like
Get up, motherfucker.
Love is life.
Go tribe. Sweet. All right, perfect. Thank you again so much, everyone. So, for those of you who may be here for the first time, like I said, my name is Brendon. I also go by Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram. You can find me on either or. And we've been creating conscious media for quite a while through this project known as Paradigm Shift Central. And a big part of it is about building community, coming together as tribe, being able to celebrate together, to celebrate creativity. And what we are doing here, we are building specifically a global team of shifters. And what are shifters? Shifters are people who are intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion. And so through this broadcast, we do a lot of these, through these projects, we do a lot of these broadcasts. We help people with creating media. We're publishing content through the main website. We're helping people create physical paradigm shift communities where they are. We're supporting each other as creators and leaders. And so for tonight's broadcast, what we're doing is specifically focusing around the realms of a creative expression, sharing poetry, sharing music, as I said, sharing stand-up comedy. And the intention behind doing this is for us to literally be able to celebrate creativity as well as to practice sharing creativity. That's a big theme here within the Paradigm Shift Central project is like, hey, if we're gonna go out there and we're gonna help change the world, if we're gonna help plant seeds and shift paradigms and help people remember the truth within their heart about the fact that we are multidimensional beings within this holographic reality, one of the ways that we're gonna be able to do that more effectively is by practicing our communication, by practicing getting up on the digital stage, fighting through our fears and our sort of just oh, I can't, but allowing ourselves to just be like, oh, wait, yes, I can, because I give myself permission to, because this is all just play. And so for tonight's tonight's project, welcome to tonight's project, bros and sisters. We are going to be, again, just practicing, celebrating and sharing our creativity through poetry and through all sorts of other fun stuff. So thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. So we've done this before, and if you've missed the first one, you can always go back and check it out. The previous one was in September, and now we're here back again in November. So before we officially get into this, if you haven't already yet, be sure to check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. You can find all these links in the info for the video on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to also know that you're invited to connect to our Discord chat. Our Discord chat is where we hang out and collaborate between broadcasts. You can also follow me on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man, and of course, a huge shout out and thank you to our Patreon supporters, which help make these broadcasts possible. If you enjoy these broadcasts and you want to even be able to join on air in future broadcasts, then check out the Patreon, sign up as a leading member. You can also sign up at any of the levels, $3, $5, $11, the option to join as leading member, and get awesome rewards, not only to be able to help support me as the individual director and creator, but also to be able to help support community, and also to be able to help support you. So by you signing up on the Patreon, you also get the support, you get the additional connections, and yeah, you get the opportunity to be able to perhaps even join us here next time when we do more on-air broadcasts. So thank you again to our Patreon supporters. You can click the link on the screen up in the top corner if you're watching on YouTube, but the links are in the info below. And yeah, huge shout out to everyone just for your support in all forms. It is all equally appreciated. So be sure to hit that like button, share this broadcast with your friends, and we'll keep an eye open in the chat. If people want me to be able to read their content for poetry during this broadcast, you are welcome to begin sending it to me on my Instagram. So for anybody who's like, yo, I'm not on air right now, but I would love if you could read my stuff on air, go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram, and I'm just posting a link for that in the chat. So send me your poetry too. Sweet, awesome. All right, so we're going to start with the poetry tonight, so everyone get comfortable. Grab a glass of wine if you have that preference, or any sort of like beverage that you would like to be able to sip on as you're just like, yes, this paradigm shifting culture is quite exquisite. Yes. So allow yourself to get comfortable, relax, have fun. That is what we're here to do. This is all just play. This is all just practice. So I'm going to start off by sharing a bit of my own poetry. We're going to have a couple other people joining throughout the broadcast, and with me tonight we have Oliver, just wave to the camera and go hi. And we have Caleigh as well, one of our newer leading members. Caleigh, you can say hi as well. You can wave to the camera so I can see you there, just so I know who's who, I guess. And Caleigh, thank you as well. One of our Patreon supporters. Eddie, who has been in here in the past. Eddie, give a big old like Ragnar, like woo. Eddie, aka Ragnar, he's here with us. He's again a Patreon supporter. Thank you for being here, Eddie, for your support. And we also have Melina, who is in the Zoom chat as well. So Melina, you can just go a quick wave. Sweet. All right, so we'll get to meet everyone as we do this, and again, we'll do our best to be able to keep an eye on the YouTube chat as well. So enjoy this opportunity for us to be able to connect as community. And what do you know, the rhymes have already started, and hey, that's just what happens when we remember that we're unity. So oh no, now it's just gonna be rhymes from here out all the time. Welcome to paradigm shifting Dr. Seuss time. See, it's already started. But essentially, one of the things that we'll be doing with this project, with this broadcast, is also we'll be able to invite like flowetry, what we recognize as flowetry. We might be getting into some ciphers a little bit later on, but again, I'm not expecting everybody here is like a full-blown expert at this, but this is an opportunity for us to be able to like practice even bringing that creativity through in a variety of ways. So if you guys want me to sing a song, drop a 777 in the chat and I'll sing a song for you a little bit later. And we may end up singing, I feel like this has happened before, but I'm just like, are we going to end up singing Colors of the Wind by Pocahontas again? So we'll see. Anyways, thanks again, everyone. You guys helped direct the show as well. Let's get right into this. I'm going to read a little bit of poetry, and we'll keep an eye on the comments in the chat to the best of our abilities. So thank you for joining, and go ahead and like that video if you haven't already yet. All right, here's a quick poem that I'm going to read, and this is a poem that I wrote quite a while ago, and it is called upgrades.exe. All right, so everybody, thank you for being here. As I walk up on stage, I should get like my microphone sort of thing. I might need to say that for my stand-up comedy routine. Got my mic. Was Melina, were you yelling at? Was that like an applause thing? Okay. Hey, no, watch, quiet with that heckling in the back. No, I'm just joking. All right, so let's get right into this. Thank you again, everyone, for holding space and for hanging out. So here's my first poem. My name's Brendon. I wrote this when I was 3 years old. No, I'm just joking. I wrote this like, I don't know, a while ago though, like 6 or 7 years ago probably. Okay, so this is like probably like, I don't know, probably like 2012, 2011 that I wrote this one. So back before the solstice 2012, times were different then. So do you guys remember that? Back during the solstice 2012, way back when. Okay, let's get right into this. So this one's called upgrades.exe. Upgrades.exe. Biomechanical, transdimensional. Cipher the data through the filter we call emotions. Each experience is but a sequence, so that we may grow, so that we may know how to flow through this rhythm of time, infinitely divine, a mirror of the mind. Do not fret what you do not get. What you want is not what you need. Understand this, and you will see that the freedom is within. Shift happens. It's how you react that determines what you win. Travel through the darkness because there is no fear. Light beckons from within you, refracted through these tears. Prisms of beauty, a rainbow of the soul, a fractal of the spark, a reflection of the whole. We are so hard to please, yet so easy to amuse. Never to be satisfied, always waiting for the news of what to think next, of how to feel now, but we must program ourselves to be the creator of thou. Always reaching, always seeking answers and reasons for why, yet seldom do we ask the question, are these wings meant to fly? Of course they are. So upgrade your mind, upgrade your soul, spiral that double helix, take back control. Cue the snapping and stuff like that. For those of you in the chat, you can just drop 1111s in place of the snapping at any time. So cool. Okay, thanks Melina. Thanks everybody for the snapping. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. I'm gonna read one more, and then we're gonna pass the talking stick to someone else. So I think Melina might be the next person. Then we'll just kind of go around and everything. Like there's quite a few poems here that we got to share, and I may even read some like roomy love poems a little bit later on. So.
Charge.
Was that without? Thanks. Okay, let me just decide real quick. Okay, I'm gonna read a love poem. This one's called "Cosmic Lessons Within the Love," and again, you know, like as we just take a quick little break between poems here and stuff like that. When people are writing poetry, or if I was like giving someone instructions on writing poetry, if I was trying to like encourage them, you know, like what can I write about? What can I write about? Write about the things that are meaningful to you. Write about those experiences that have been visceral. Write about those like experiences that have like changed your life, that have meant something to you. And so that's why I think love is such a powerful thing to be able to write about, because I feel like love is this very beautiful thing that we experience it, yet it in itself is like a fractal of like this spiritual psychedelic truth of this energy that connects us. Specifically when you are in love. You know, like when you are in love, it's like you're with someone, but it's like you're somewhere else, but you're still connected. There's like a presence. There's like an energy that literally bonds two people together. And I think that's why love is such a infinitely endless source of inspiration for us to be able to draw from. So that's why I'm going to share one of my love poems that I've got written and here to share. And again, this is obviously sourced from my own inspiration. So as we're sharing poetry, let it be an invitation for people to kind of like see into our soul, for a soul to be able to like shine itself out through the windows and the wisdom of our heart. So here we go. This one's called Cosmic Lessons Within the Love. Maybe I should. Cosmic Lessons Within the Love. So, all right.
Tuned in with Paradigm Shift After Hours. Oh.
Right. Okay. FYI for Melina, the microphone levels aren't up on that. If you're going to throw in some puns, I'll pull it up next time. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Cosmic Lessons Within the Love. Traversing through the infinite echoes of time, through my mind I find all the parts of myself. Up these mountains I climb. The hero and the villain, the hermit and the fool, the knight and the wizard, the emperor that must rule. Over everything that I do, all the actions I bring forth, the responsibility of my choices as I set my compass due north. Towards the heavens I travel from one dream to the next, always moving forward with each and every breath. From the past, for the past is all behind us, below us and within. foundations of our future upon which new cycles shall begin. For it is in the soft reflection of seeing myself through your eyes that I am reborn once again. Out of the ashes we must fly. Like the phoenix in my dream, you awaken me with a flash, a glimpse of my own eternity in a moment that will always last. Through the memories we hold dear, through the hope that we carry close, yet without an expectation, we learn to appreciate what we love most. For your path is your path, and mine is that of my own. Yet together we are water, upon which we cast our stones. For all we do is intertwined like the roots beneath the tree. And simply by loving you, I remember how to love me. These lessons are forever, like a book that never ends, an infinite cosmic journey upon a road that always bends, back in upon ourselves, for us to discover who we are. Just another fractal of eternity, a true child of the stars. Knowing you makes me wiser by seeing who I truly am, as both a scared little boy and a brave noble man. Yet the fear of my own fear leads me to trust whatever shall be. Whatever happens is what happens. It is up to us to wait and see. Who will we become at the end of the day? What new strength will we discover when we learn these cosmic lessons as both the warrior and the lover? So there we go. That's that poem there. Cue finger snaps if you got them. So cool. Thanks, team. All right. So, with that said, I'm ready to invite the next person up onto stage, and I'll jump into the YouTube chat. Reminder for anybody here, if you have any poems you want me to read of yours on air, just send me send me the link. Sorry, send me the info to my Instagram. Direct message me on Instagram, and I can read your stuff on air. Okay, I'm gonna pass it over. Melina, are you ready to go on air? Sweet. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Melina, for joining us, for being here, for your support over these many eons, and welcome on to our Paradigm Shift Synergy Circle tonight. Yeah, dabbing it. Absolutely. Well deserved. So, all right, Melina, when you're ready, you're welcome to, again, just kind of, if you would like to introduce yourself by any means, but you can get right into the poetry in a way that feels comfortable for you. So go ahead, and thank you again for joining us tonight, whenever you're ready.
Brendon, thank you so much for sharing each and every moment on these broadcasts and reading your pieces and learning how to intone your voice so very beautifully and place those spaces in addition to sharing your stories and your vocalizations and creating a platform for everyone to practice and express. All this being said, I'll take a slight leap of faith and place aside any type of insecurity and hubris and read draft one. I am the muse of inspiration and creativity. The symbols and nouns form their bodies of sound, slipping from petal lips rosy, lightly lying lips, forming spells of truth. The state of being deeply nestled in chest, an inexplicable sensation straighter than the repetitive cursive. She felt the fleeting flutters denoting the mantra, I feel. Flit with every bodily response, and you gave my art away. 1 week prior, the vocal articulations echoing a dear friend's disappointment, shaking unstuck, yet another reverie, and it's a distracting memory. Dear one, reading these ink strokes written with your fingers and thumb. Yes, this is another bedtime story. The repeating singular, same sweetly sweeping pursed rose tips sway, keeping time. And all of this may seem like not anything else but wistful whimsy and flowing prose and poetry. And we beseech you to walk alongside of paths, suspending your disbelief for the breadth of mere breaths. And alongside thee, we tap in and feel and repeat. I feel. A reminder, just breathe. The remedy and the poison are two sides of a copper coin, pressed, engaged, and engraved iconography depicting presently the one who chooses to free slaves, and we hope to set everything right with ample room for free flight. I am, with bright eyes and earnest reverberation, which comes only from experience, she, for the sake of our story, we shall retain the name Muse, glances out and reflects upon the rear view hues, recalling the choice to wholeheartedly embody a champion's voice. Time is eternal, and yet the end draws near. She feels the eyes of her guides gently, intently drawing her here, and the witnessing of every move dances before view. Dear, dear Muse, do realize you create the groove. Follow the ever fleeting, shifting shadows if you must. You never disappoint. Make good choices. We are love. The dictionary defines thusly noun, integrity. One, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. And two, the state of being whole and undivided, unity. Muse smiles sweetly with wishful whimsy, vowing, remember, I shall write it down. And seeing as we find ourselves on this topic, the word down elicits an introspective interest, connoting the calendar timekeeping year reflects 2019, I think, currently. And members of our American cultural family enjoy exuding the phrase, you down? Are you down, bro? You down? I'm down. You down? Yeah, you down? You down? We down. In conjunction and in lieu with, are you in? Respectfully, everyone plays a role with grace and ease, flowing with rotations purposefully. Who am I? Use matters to yourself. And the mouthing moves silently, reading back the swoops and curves of what is written. She analyzes the told story emanating from within pen strokes, and it arrives. What is my motivation? With this, she shrugs, wondering how to make amends with the I'm sorry's. I'm so sorry. And lips color purple. She takes another toke and pretends to enjoy watching the billowing smoke. Thanks for listening. That's for everyone we've ever loved and lost or found. I appreciate my family so tremendously. Dankeschön.
Thank you, Melina. That's beautiful. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there was anything more that you wanted to share to give us a little bit more like the behind the scenes context there, the inspiration, a little bit of the creative process, or can you hear me okay? Yeah. If you would like to share, it's totally optional. So yeah. Sometimes the art just kind of is good to just leave it just as it is. So it's up to you.
People are so fascinating, you know, and I've been very lucky and immensely grateful to have parents that have taken care of me and provide a plethora of things to take in and learn with and play with. And then I have all these friends that are so amazing and talented, and their voices are beautiful, and they cross all these boundaries and depths of age groups and cultures. So this piece in particular is not really for me, although it is through me and by me. And it's written for and by anyone that would like to take up the torch and run with it. That's what it feels like most of the time. So it comes from playing with my younger brother and like my aunts and uncles, and how they haven't had this technology, but we're able to make something that we can now play with and interact with, and then create a new scrapbook and a dictionary and a library to pass along to the next while paying homage. That's what this really is for me in so many words.
It's beautiful, beautifully said. Thank you. Nah, I mean, it's amazing, you know, just kind of taking a quick intermission here, just kind of chat a little bit as we kind of have get ourselves ready for the next person. And if the next person is ready to go, whoever wants to go next, give me a thumbs up as we're chatting here. Oliver, you'll go next. So again, and just kind of chatting with you, Melina, as well. And shout out to Neil. We also got Neil in here, so we'll get Neil on here soon enough. Again, you know, you just think about the fact that poetry has existed throughout the ages. You know, storytelling has been such a pivotal part of who we see ourselves as. And so again, I think it's just like amazing of how through poetry it allows us to tell story, but it becomes like something even more memorable. It becomes something that you might just kind of like hear the words, but then there's like another layer to it that speaks to your heart. And I think that's why poetry is so unanimously adored, is because it speaks of the emotion. It speaks on behalf of the emotion. And oftentimes people will kind of have their favorite poet, or they'll really resonate with someone because they'll kind of say, they'll kind of say like, oh, you know, it's like they're the same soul as me. It's like they're saying things that I say to myself, and yet I haven't always been able to articulate it, or maybe not quite in the same way. And then to hear somebody else communicate something that might be like so intimate to your experience, but in their own unique way, and it suddenly becomes relatable. And I think again, with any piece of art, and for you guys in the chat, for everybody here, the children of the earth in the chat, let me know. Like, I mean, I think again, art is a mirror for us to be able to see ourselves. It is a way for consciousness to be able to see more of itself, and to be able to celebrate it, and to be able to understand it, and to be able to dive deeper with it. So it's amazing to think how deep we can really dive with poetry. You know, what messages can we bring forth from like the depths of our own emotion? And that's why again, poetry, like we said, so much of poetry is written about love, and so much of poetry is also written about like the hard times, despair. And that's where like inspiration comes out of, right? Because it's just like so palpable. It has like an essence. Essence. And then you basically just want to be able to just like bring it forth into this physical world, and we do. Any thoughts on that? If anybody else just kind of wants to jump in, just like again, like the literal magic of poetry, of storytelling, of song, of anything. And again, I think that's why practicing this as a team is a beautiful way, because it's like literally creating a way for more of the universe to see itself through art, you know, which is exactly what we're celebrating here. Melina, any thoughts on that, or just anything to riff on before we pass it around to the next person? Anybody else? Please feel free.
Well spoken you are. Learn well, I see you have. No, in all seriousness, that's very well said. And I feel like I'm not an expert. I don't do this for a living. I don't study it. I have not gone to school. I just have an appreciation for those who somehow embody this immense, magnificent, timeless spirit. And that is just so invaluable. And I feel like it is to be cherished and upheld throughout all of the ages, much like your creations within your crystals that hang from your neck that are timekeeping pieces, which can or cannot transmit. I think it's amazing what we see and hear can translate into our physiological bodies when we move from one space to another and interact. And that's true magic. I feel like it's true magic. So thanks for this time. Hi. I see everybody sitting in the background.
Awesome. Thank you,
Okay.
Melina.
Are we here now? What's going on?
Yeah.
I feel you. I hear you. That was good. That was good.
That's good. Awesome. Thank you again, Melina. All right, so let's keep the party going. And Oliver, if you're ready to go next, we'll pass the talking stick over to you. Does that work for you, Oliver?
Yeah, for sure. That's what
Okay,
I mean.
perfect. So just a quick segue for Oliver. Oliver, for those of you who don't know, he's been involved with previous Paradigm Shift Central broadcasts that we have done, and him and I, some of you probably heard about our little adventure when we went and like saw Amma and met Amma, the hugging saint, and so that's kind of like a bit of our personal experience that we've had. And Oliver is a beautiful person, and he's been doing a lot of free hugs where he is. We're both in Canada. Are you in Montreal or Quebec? Excuse me for forgetting which one exactly.
Quebec is the province, and Montreal is a city.
Yes.
And I'm living in Saint-Mathieu-sur-Richelieu.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought.
It's little village, like 40 minutes from Montreal.
Beautiful. All right, well, Oliver, we're going to pass over to you, and I think we're going to do a little bit something different here because you want to share a couple things, and I think some of it is like your own poetry in French.
Exactly.
And then you're going to tell us a little bit. So tell it to us maybe just a little bit in English, like give us a little bit of the context, but then let us listen to it in French, and then tell us a little bit more about like what it was, because I want people to be kind of listening to this and almost kind of like practice like listening with your intuition, practice listening with your heart. Even if you don't know French, I want you to see if you can actually still hear what he's saying. So
but I want to share two things. The first, it's
perfect.
really little song in French. I will say it in French, and after I will try it to translate it in English. And after, it's a kind of a little bit more long poetry in French, and I will maybe just told what is about in the core of the thing of the poetry.
Perfect.
Before starting, when you talk after the really nice share from Melina, when you talk about the importance of art, for me, art is the language of the soul. We are all the artisans of our life, and every day we'll wake up and we have to paint a new day. And like this is really so important to share, to create, to make our right brain work, not just logical. We have to make the magical work too. So for that, I will start by a poetry. The name is Pourquoi la paix? In English, it's Why Peace? So it's go like this. Pourquoi la paix? Pour vivre dans le calme, pourquoi la paix? Pour grandir sans regret, pourquoi la paix? Pour rire avec amour, pourquoi la paix? Pourquoi la paix? La vie est dure, mais pourquoi donc ça dure, je vous le jure? Où est la cure la plus pure pour nous guérir de tous ces maux qui sont de trop? Le monde souffre, mais personne ne dit un mot, le monde se tait, et c'est la pire des plaies, c'est mauvais. Où est la paix? Pourquoi la paix? Pour vivre dans le calme, pourquoi la paix? Pour grandir sans regret, pourquoi la paix? Pour rire avec amour, pourquoi la paix? Pourquoi la paix? La paix est vraie, croyez-moi, il n'y a aucun mais. Il faut y croire, trancher la poire, voir le bonheur dans tous ces leurres. N'ayez pas peur, nous sommes tous frères et sœurs, dans le fond, on a tous un grand cœur, le respect rime avec succès pour retrouver la paix. Oh oui, la vraie. So I hope some. I'm not sure if you catch something, but
interesting. So yes, please tell us a little bit more about.
I will try to translate it as well I can. So it's why peace? Why is peace? To live in calm. Why peace? To grow up without regrets. Why peace? For love with love. Why peace? Why peace? Life's hard. Why it's going on? Where is the cure? The more pure to heal. Everything's go wrong. People suffer. Nobody say a word. People don't say a word, and it's the worst thing. It's bad. Where's peace? Why peace? To live in calm. Why peace? To grow up without regrets. Why peace? To love with love. Why peace? Why peace? Peace is real. There's no maybe. We have to trust. We have to see happiness in all. Uh, I don't know how to translate that. Don't be afraid. We are all brother and sister. We are have all a giant art. Respect is rhyme with success. We have to get back peace. Oh yeah, the real peace. That was hard. But
that was cool, dude. That was cool, dude. Thank you so much.
and I didn't those writing I write then when I was 17. It's 14 years from now, and I just took all those things, and it's kind of really nice for me to read back those things. It's like it was I was like 14 years before, but it's all again actual for me in my art and in my
Yeah, dude, that's beautiful. I totally resonate with that idea of like, yeah, like who we are now, like we are who we are now then. Like who we were then is who we are now. It's just kind of like we were growing into ourselves. So it was all there. It was still all there, and it makes sense that it would like show up through our art. That's so cool, dude. Dude, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, man. It's beautiful to just kind of like again, just kind of still regardless of the translation, just being able to hear the context there. It's a little bit like time travel, you know. It's like you just like introduced us to your 17-year-old version of yourself, and brought that version of yourself into this discussion, which I think is like phenomenal. Just that we can even do that, so that's cool.
And the other, it's more long poetry in French. I will not translate it because it will be really so hard. But when you say about like there's a lot of poetry where we're writing with a lot of mind, and other like more like when sometimes things go wrong and things are hard and it's help you to create. That was a poetry I was creating when in a part of my life, secondary was hard, and it's really nice to read this back, and I will talk to you about this and what is about after. But the title it's J'ai le mal de vivre, and in English it's like the sickness of living. Okay, so ça va comme it goes like that. La vie est si difficile, tout seul sur mon île. Le fleuve de mon vécu s'entremêle dans tous ses vues. Toutes ces émotions me font mal et je m'épuise dans mon canal. D'une société si mal gérée, mais impossible de rien changer. Mais où est la brochure qui est la plus pure, le manuel d'instruction de toute cette éducation? J'aimerais tant m'en sortir, tout oublier et juste partir. La vie n'en est pas ainsi et c'est normal de se faire du souci. La voie est remplie d'embûches dans cette immense ruche. Nettoyons la route, mais on en a pour un bout. Pour les enfants dans le futur, avec amour et paix, créons une mixture qui ne pourra pas s'effacer, bientôt bien trop bien orchestrée. Je vis dans un étau, étant né bien trop tôt. Comment défaire cette emprise qui constamment me méprise? L'espace est de moins en moins vaste. Laissez-moi m'envoler sur mon astre. Que le souffle des 4 vents ravive le feu de mon auvent. Mon cœur pleure avec le sourire, mais pourquoi être mort de rire? L'humour est notre ami, mais parfois notre ennemi. L'équilibre n'est plus, la relativité est accrue, mais qu'est-ce qui doit dominer à la fin dans tout cet échiquier? Here we go, guys.
And so, did you say? So, what was the source of that? That was.
The source of that. It was a time of my life things not really go well. Secondary time at school, And like the title of this poetry, it's more like the sickness of living. And it's kind of like life is hard, I feel alone. um, why there's always so much emotion everywhere who going hurt me and hurt people around me. um, like in that poetry, it's like, where is the instruction manual for living? Everything, there's there's a hole, and there's hard times everywhere. Just try to clean up the road for the future kid, for the kids, and for the kid in the future, with love and peace. I was like living with some things just pressure on myself every time. And like, we have to live, we have to smile, we have to laugh. And at the end, what will win? Who will win at the end? And that's finished like this.
Very cool, dude. Awesome. Oliver, thank you so much, dude. And did you, what was that written before or after the first one?
After.
After. Okay, cool. Wow. So we got like two different expressions of Oliver throughout his different periods of his life,
Yeah.
which is very cool, dude. That's awesome. Cool, man. So, is there anything else that you would like to share in this moment before we, if you do, because I know you have to head out soon enough.
I will probably there's a song by a French rapper in France. Her name is Kenny Arcana. The song is called in French "Tout tourne autour du soleil." Everything turns around sun. And I will try to write it in French, and probably like Google Translate can translate to you. But in that song, you have so much powerful sentence, and it's like one sentence, another, and there's just one I want to say to you. It's in French. It's reconnais-toi en l'autre, car l'autre est un autre toi. So in English, it's like look people like you are, because the other people are the same people as you. Kind of.
Right. So kind of like a namaste kind of thing. So yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Okay. So do you need to take, we can pass the talking stick around and then come back to you if you need some time to do that?
Oh, I can do that tonight.
Not tonight. Okay. Perfect.
My
That's
wife
not
and
a
my
problem.
daughter just arrived, so I will
Sounds like the
probably
timing's
soon
perfect,
have to
so.
live. But
All right.
when my little two years and a half daughter will come up, I will just show you the little princess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely, man. So the whole family's welcome. So cool. Okay. So Oliver, thank you again, man. And we'll just say aloha. Welcome to. Thank you for joining. Bonjour. Cool. All right, Oliver. Is anything else before we pass the talking stick around? Any just gratitude to express?
Trust yourself. You're the best person in your life. Love is the answer. Let's share it more and more.
Awesome. Well,
Well
thank
said,
you for
bro. Well said.
Thank you for living it, dude. And thank you for doing all you do and all the free hugs. So awesome, man. I look forward to crossing paths again in time, dude. And it's always a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. I love you,
awesome.
my friend.
Thank you, Oliver. And Oliver, just to confirm, you're not on Instagram, right? You're only on Facebook?
I'm supposed to be on Instagram.
You're supposed to be on Instagram. Okay. Do you want me to share your Facebook link into the chat so that people can connect with you?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, perfect. We'll do that. All right. So we'll post Oliver's Facebook chat into the YouTube and his Facebook profile into the YouTube. And then anybody there, please feel free to connect with him. And we'll pass the talking stick around and get ready for the next person who would like to join air. So Oliver, thank you so much again, brother. Honored to be able to have you here. So,
Yeah, thanks, bro. That was really inspirational. I like listening to that. Even the one in a different language I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Totally. Thanks, Eddie. No, it's fine. It's good practice for us. Again,
It was pretty cool.
Thank you
creativity
so
is
much.
expands beyond language.
Love
so,
don't
so
have
much.
language.
Great.
Exactly right.
I could feel the tone. I could sense the emotion, man. Like it was coming from the heart. That was really cool. and
Right.
to come
Absolutely.
from
Go
so
ahead,
many
Eddie.
years ago too, you know, that's like really special for you, and it makes me feel really proud for you to share that. You know, it's it's come from your heart, you know, from a long time ago, and it still holds a lot of meaning in your life now.
Yeah, man. So
Beautiful.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you,
You're
Eddie.
welcome, mate.
Cool. All right, so we'll get ready to pass the talking stick over to the next person who wants to go next. Give me a thumbs up from who wants to volunteer to go next. And Jacob's in here, so Eddie's here. So Eddie, we can pass it to you next. Jacob, welcome, dude. Aloha. Thanks for joining, man. Jacob, give me a thumbs up if you got some stuff ready, like that you'll be ready to share soon enough. I presume you got like, yeah, okay, cool. Jacob's got a couple. Okay, cool, sweet. So again, you know, I just wanted to kind of create a little bit of context here and remind people that by us doing this, we want to be able to create this space for us to be able to practice sharing, at the same time to be able to inspire you, the audience, to be able to practice sharing. Essentially, that is something that we really work on within Paradigm Shift, is helping create that space to encourage people to practice being like conduits for consciousness, conduits for the shift in paradigms. And so with a lot of the poetry that we're going to be sharing tonight, you know, it can be very personal, but then you can also get this variety of poetry that can literally be written with the intention to shift paradigms, with the intention to kind of like open up people's minds. Like you can kind of deliver a message or deliver an idea or share a story that for the people listening to it can actually be like a medium, a launch point for them to be able to start connecting the dots in a new way, for them to start to see themselves in a new way. I do have one poem, and maybe I can share it between like after Eddie, and I've shared it in the past one, but I just feel it's like a really good example to kind of like give people a little bit of an idea of like kind of like what like a consciousness shifting poem can kind of sound like. And again, there's every poem's going to be consciousness shifting or conscious encapsulating in its own way, but I think it's really cool for like for anybody here listening to this to give yourself that little objective of being like, okay, what if I want to be able to create a piece of poetry that's like created with the intention to deliver some sort of conscious message, some sort of like message about how the universe works or our place within it and our story within it. And I did actually write a little one today in my book, and I'll read that a little bit later too. But in the meantime, let's keep passing the talking stick around. Thank you again so much, everyone, for joining. If you haven't already yet, please feel free to like this video on Facebook and on YouTube. And yeah, keep leaving those comments in the chat. And again, reminder, if anybody has any content they want me to read on air for them, send me a message on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man, and I'll do my best to be able to help relay that on air on your behalf. So with that said, we'll pass the talking stick over to Eddie. And Eddie, again, he's tuning in from Australia right now. He's been a big supporter of Paradigm Shift over the past, and happy to be able to have you here, fellow spiritual warrior buddy. And Eddie, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you would like to be able to share during tonight's open mic jam.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot. I've got to admit, I've never really written a lot of poetry in the past, but I just Googled a whole heap of them while I was listening to everyone else. And I found some inspirational poems that resonate with who I am, what I believe in, my character, my personality. And yeah, it made me smile, it made me feel good about myself. So I'd like to share what I found with you guys. And I'll read it with my emotion, but yeah, I didn't write it, but it's I'm resonating with it, so to speak. And I tend to write short stories more than I do poetry and poems and stuff like that. But for the sake of today's chat, I thought I'd pull myself into alignment with what everyone else is doing. And yeah, so I found 4 of them. They're not that long. So I'll read the first one out and we'll see where it takes us. And this one's called Let Your Light Shine. And it goes like this. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. We are liberated from our own fear, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's it. I like that
Awesome.
one. That's cool.
Thanks.
Let your light
Thank you,
shine.
Eddie.
Let your light
Do you have
shine.
Yeah, do you have like, I mean, we've heard that before. Now that's like a quote, like what's the source on that? Is there a specific source?
Yeah, hang on.
Because
Let me copy and paste the link.
Sure. Because I've definitely I'm sure some of us have heard versions of that quote message poem before. So that's cool, dude.
It's in YouTube. And
all right, no sweat.
You got it?
Cool.
Yeah, man.
I
like that one.
And yeah, and so do you have a one or two more that you want to be able to share as well that you found?
Yeah, for sure. Here's one I found too. It's called "It's Really Up to You." It's about friendship. One word can start a friendship. One kiss, a love affair. One smile can bring you laughter. One hug can show you care. One wave of your hand can say hello. One tear can make you cry. One gentle touch can warm the heart. One dream can make you fly. One song can bring back memories. One thought sees brighter days. One wish can bring colourful rainbows. One good deed can bring you praise. One moon can light your darkness. One star can guide your soul. One step will start each journey. One hope to make your goal. One hand to hold in friendship. One heart that's kind and true. One love, one friend is all you need. It's really up to you. I like that one too.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie. Right? That's good.
That's cool, hey.
No, it's good, man.
I'm getting all emotional and shit.
Oh, that's beautiful. Man, like honestly, like that should be something for anybody here, just kind of like and Eddie, go ahead and just get us ready for the next one. Yeah, for anybody here, like really encouraging people, like when you're reading this, do it as a practice of like tapping into the emotion, like feel where it's guiding you, feel where it's taking you through. So bonus points if anybody cries while reading tonight. Like I'll seriously like give you like bonus points and stuff.
So yeah, there's the link to that one too. I found these quickly. And here's one that I've from a movie I watched years and years ago that really holds deep in my heart too. And being spiritual, being a spiritual warrior, you know, you can go through some tough times and do lots of crazy things along the way. And yeah, when I watched this movie, and at the end of the movie, it really sunk home, and I've never forgot it since. And I also used some of the words in one of my YouTube videos that I created, where I share my spiritual knowledge. And so yeah, let me read this one out to you and see what this one's only short too. It's a poem from the movie Act of Valor. So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion. Respect others in their view and demand they respect yours. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. You know, it's short and sweet, and but it's tough, and it resonates with the heart of warriors. And yeah, I've never forgot that. It's part of my belief system and who I am. And yeah, I respect everyone and everything in this world, in this reality, and I demand that they respect my views and the way I perceive reality too. And that way, I've always felt you're not a pushover, you know, and you want to play with the big boys, you need to be a big boy, and so you need to learn how to hold your ground, and you do that with integrity, um, in your own belief, in your self-worth, and respect is mutual. Respect is always mutual, you know. So you respect yourself, respect others, and other people who respect who they are will also probably resonate with that and respect you too.
That's very cool. Eddie, is that movie from The Warriors, or is that from The Warriors?
No, it's the movie called
What's it from?
Act of Valor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a movie from the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool. Yeah, that's battle warriors in America and stuff, and they go and do some crazy shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well,
And,
dude, Eddie, thank you. Go ahead. Yeah. Do you want to? Is there another one?
Yeah, I got one more. And so
Perfect.
So end on a funny note, lighten the mood, the emotions. And it's about beans and what they can do to you, like baked beans.
Okay, go for it. This is gonna make people shift their pants.
We'll get a bit shifty now. It's a silly poem and a rhyme. Beans, the musical fruit, it's called. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. Beans are good for every meal. Beans are good for the heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. The more you fart, the better you feel. So have some beans with every meal. And,
oh my god, Eddie. It's like, I mean, we all know that one too. Like, that's like, oh man, childhood, like nostalgia coming right back there. All those beans. So okay.
Yeah, just be careful if anyone asks you to pull their finger after they've had baked beans for dinner.
Fair enough. All right, Eddie. I think ending on a deep note there related to the beans. Thank you, Eddie. Is there anything else you just want to share real quick? Any gratitude you'd like to express? Go right ahead.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I found, but yeah, like I'm a very unique character. There's not a lot of people around like me that do what I do, that know what I know, and I can sometimes come across a bit opposite to what I might seem, you know, but that's usually just my shield that I've got up. And you know, when you if you persist and you work your way through that shield, you'll often find a heart of gold that's ready to share and ready to give. And my friendship with you, Skull, over the years, you've seen that. You know, you've seen a lot of different emotions come from me through all the video chats that we've had and the way we talk. But yeah, I'm always there for you, bro. You know, I always like to support you. Thanks, and yeah, whatever you're up to, you know, it's always in the back of my mind. I'm watching you on Instagram and stuff, and yeah, so I hope that I can continue to support you as we move forward in the shift, and we all work better at being shifty.
Awesome. That's exactly it. Awesome. Thank you, Eddie. And Eddie, just again expressing the gratitude back to you, and in terms of you know, again, kind of what we were talking about earlier, like, okay, like say if I was trying to just like help hold space for people creating poetry, one of the things that I would invite people to be able to share poetry out would be about again, like experiences from like dreams or other dimensions or psychedelic experiences, and maybe like, you know, messages and meetings with like gods and goddesses and stuff like that. So Eddie, without even really having to like get into too much stuff, I just kind of want to be able to plant that seed, because like not only would I encourage you to do that, but I would love to hear some of what you can kind of like crystallize out of your own experiences into poetry form, to be able to like bring forth a message that you receive through some of your experiences, traversing dimensions, so to speak. So
yeah, well, I've made a lot of stories, you know, I've got a lot of
true,
things.
the stories are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are those just kind of like written out as like kind of like a almost like a as per how it happened type thing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember I made a story about, and I included all of the famous prophets that have come in the past, you know, like Buddha and Jesus and Moses and Noah, and intertwined the Kundalini serpent and the light in the tunnel and DMT and stuff, you know, and like, yeah, I'll have to find that story again and read it out maybe one time.
Yeah. Because we do want to, again, like with the open mic here, like there is the option for people to like share storytelling. So if there's like one of them that would be, you know, like not like super long, but within like a good time frame, we can pass it back to you a little bit later, dude. If there's like a particular one you want to pull up to share as a bit of a story, like storytelling is within the context of what it is that we're sharing here as well.
Right. So. Well, I've got quite a lot of stuff saved on my computer. Yeah. I'll go through a few things as I'm listening in to other people talking, see if I can find something that's appropriate.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet. Eddie, thank you again. Happy to have you here, dude.
Yeah, cool, Sweet. Man. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for having me. It's great to share.
Oliver, you heading out, dude? You want to just say goodbye real quick?
Thank you very much to everybody to be a part of that really great family. I love you guys. Continue to share your work, to share your soul. It's when we share, we learn, and together we can create something really nice. So take care, everybody. Let's see us again in another broadcast, and I love you, everybody.
Awesome, man. This is why we have peace. This is why we bring the peace. So
Awesome. It's all about.
Oliver, thank you again, dude. Take care. Much love to you and the fam.
Have a nice rest, mate.
All right, beautiful. All right, so with that said, we'll pass the talking stick around, and let's just see who's ready to go next, because like I know Jacob, Caleigh, and Lisa is here. So Caleigh, I think you had your hand up first. Caleigh, do you want to go next? Are you cool with that? Is that you volunteering to go next if you'd like to go next and jump up on stage? Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, cool. So before we do that, we're just going to take a moment here because I want to be able to share one of the poems that I have passed on to me through Instagram. And this is from a person who's literally tuned into the broadcast right now. And as far as I understand, I think they literally like just found the broadcast today. And this is from Chira Suri Banjari. Banerjee, sorry, I didn't pronounce that properly the first time. Quantum Dynamics _8 on Instagram. Thank you so much, and you're in the chat, so go ahead and you can be like, woo, that's me. And I'm gonna share the poem that you sent to me, and then I'm gonna share one poem that I want to be able to share, the Wake Up poem, which some of you have heard before, but I wanted to be able to share it as context. And then from there, we're going to pass it right over to Caleigh. And and throughout the broadcast, like, again, like part of me wants to even just like practice like doing some like freestyle singing, so we'll see if that happens. And I'm also open to practicing a little bit of like my like stand-up routine type stuff. We'll see how that goes. I'll need lots of encouragement to make it happen. So nonetheless, let's read a little bit here. And this is from Quantum Dynamics _8 on Instagram. So go ahead and leave a comment in the chat. And for everybody here, if you guys can just confirm for me, does the audio still sound good? If the audio still sounds good, just drop an 1111 in the chat just to confirm for me. And I'm quite certain it is. But again, if you ever hear like any weird cracking or popping noises, let me know right away, because sometimes that does happen. But providing the best quality audio is very important for your listening enjoyment. So thank you again, everyone, for being here and for hanging out and for rocking it. And for us, again, the intention here, this is team building. This is us coming around the round table to share inspiration, but also to be able to like cultivate inspiration and momentum moving forward. So, all right. Okay. So here we go. So this is, I haven't read this yet. This is again by Quantum Dynamics _8 on Instagram, aka Chira Suri Banerjee in the chats. Awesome. All right. Just kind of like channel into what needs to be channeled right now. Okay, so they said, I am a poet to create on the spot. I flow in the course of words, feel the essence growing within. And here's the poem. Vehemently, she faced the storm. Perplexed was she. Mutilated heart had she. Craved for him morn to night. Nonchalantly he walked away. She refused to feud. She did not revolt. She just cried day and night. Soon became a truant schoolgirl, sat in a room all day alone. She had no composure. Bellowed out she with all pain. Tousled was her hair. Counternated was she. Unabashedly she pleaded for love. Hoped for an elation. Stolid was he. Compared her tears with sluice often. Still she continued living. A life full of frustration. Finally, the day arrived. The day she got her life back. She rose from the crypt of pain. Luminous was her face. Faded the pain from those eyes. The gleam of joy in her eyes made him express the hidden love once again. So there we go. So that was another love poem about transformation. So thank you Quantum Dynamics 8 for sharing that with us here tonight. Awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. So I'm going to 1111 balance. I saw your note there about sharing the story of the egg. We'll have to see, because I know it's like a long story, isn't it? Awesome. Thank you. So thank you again so much, Shira Suri, for sharing that with me on Instagram so I could read that on air. And congratulations for writing that and having the courage to be able to pass it along. So, all right. So I'm going to read one poem here. This is a poem that I wrote quite a while ago. Some of you already heard it, but again, I want to be able to share this with context. I want to be able to share this as something for you to listen to get inspiration from, for you to be able to understand that by me listening to this, it's like in the same way I would make a YouTube video and kind of make something that would be like done with the intention to, you know, present people with information or present a cool idea or inspire their heart or open their mind or open their heart. This is kind of, again, that same concept. So I really want you to even just like close your eyes and listen to this as a meditation as I read it to you. And so with that said, let me just get a quick sip of tea and we'll get right into this. All right, here we go. So this one's called Wake Up. And again, this is from 2011, give or take. So, wake up, wake up. You've forgotten who you are. You have traveled far from home. You have come from the stars. But stars aren't just above you. There's the ones in your eyes that echo your golden self, the you who sees through the lies. Because you came here to learn, to see beyond the illusion, a truth about what this is, hyperdimensional transfusion. Each day is a new experience to unlock an old memory, that this body is a vehicle, an extension, an accessory. Each one of us is light, vibrating to create this form, so that we can act and do our part to be a spark in this storm. Because ripples create waves, so be the change you wish to see. Act from the heart. Love is the key. But don't stop there. There's so much you can learn about this realm and those beyond it. The key is waiting to be turned. Open your eyes to what's around you. It's hidden in plain sight. Sacred G and Fibonacci, infinity unfolding light. Manifest your intention with the power of your mind. Meditate your way to freedom, and freedom you will find. This isn't New Age jargon. This is something that is real. It's something that is lived. Something you can feel. But this is just my art, so don't believe it from me. Go journey on your own and share what you see. As a collective conscious being, together we will grow. You create your own reality, as above, so below. So there you go. So again, with that, yeah, like again, I kind of as much as I share that as my own, I kind of want us to be able to just kind of like hear that as like, again, kind of like the universe writing it, consciousness writing it, consciousness communicating to it. And so again, if you're looking through there and say like somebody who is not really, who is still in the process of maybe like an earlier stage of awakening, they haven't really kind of like opened up to some key ideas. Like there's a few key ideas in here where it literally just kind of says them quite blatantly. One of the things that it says is like the idea that like this body is a vehicle, an extension, an accessory. Each one of us is light vibrating to create this form. So like even just right there, like for those of us who are kind of familiar with that, we're just be like, yep, that's some truth, that's some universal like wisdom right there. And then again, simple things like this: because ripples create waves, so be the change you wish to see. Act from the heart, love is the key. So again, even just that, like it kind of sounds like an axiom, right? Like an axiom would be like kind of like a phrase that we use to express like a conscious idea. That's what like as above, so below, that's known as an axiom. So again, like that idea of like ripples create waves, be the change you wish to see, act from the heart, love is the key. It becomes like a mantra, it becomes an invocation. And I think like that's kind of the idea behind me sharing this example, is that I think this one serves well as almost like a call to action. And I think if you can kind of do that, for those of you thinking about the ways in which poems can accomplish things, think about the idea of like how it can literally inspire people towards action. It can call them into a purpose. It can invite them into a story, so to think. Another thing that I would just kind of, or I'll just give a couple other examples here, and then I'll just move on to my next thought. And then I just want to read one from my book. That's a super short one I wrote today. And then we'll pass it over to Caleigh. And so again, other key things in here: open your eyes to what's around you. It's hidden in plain sight. Sacred G and Fibonacci, infinity unfolding light. Like those 4 sentences, like that's like the summed up like total of part of my awakening process that I encapsulated into like a couple lines. Open your eyes to what's around you. It's hidden in plain sight. Sacred G and Fibonacci, infinity unfolding light. So again, like sacred G being sacred geometry. So again, just kind of giving, I just wanted to be able to use this because again, I want you to be able to hear this and for you to be able to practice creating your own kind of like conscious, intentional poetry. And we'll definitely practice doing some flowetry a little bit later in the broadcast as well. So here's a quick poem that I just wrote today. And to be honest, this was like the first poem that I had written out in a long time. So this was really just practice. And I wanted to be able to practice writing this because like when we write to paper, it's a very beautiful thing to be able to do. And to just be able to do it in a way where it was a practice of flowetry, where I wasn't like trying to spend too much time thinking about rhyming and stuff like that, and more just kind of like without even knowing what the next sentence would be, I'm just kind of like allowing what comes to my mind and comes to my expression to make its way onto the paper. So I mean, is this the best thing I've ever written? Like, I'm not going to call it best or worse, but it is just practice. So I'm just going to read it here, and hopefully I can read it well amidst my chicken scratch writing. So, all right, here we go. This is your story. Born beyond time in a reverse flash of light. Your consciousness is crystallized into existence, injected into the game, into the plane, a place where you are now, but not where you are from. Call it above, call it within. We are phased into this dimension, so please let us begin. Step 1 is to forget, or at least to pretend that we don't remember. The connection that we share, that everything is tethered. For all these branches connect, you see, but we forget that this is between you and me. And so half the fun of being here is so that we can have those moments when it becomes so clear. Ah, yes, we are one and the same, born of the same flash, we share the same name. And that name is love. That name is light. So let us dance together throughout the night. For this story is the dream, awakening to itself, to see the world in new ways, to have permission to play all the lessons and adventures as we rise to the test. This is our story. This is our quest. And that's it there. So again, so I just kind of wrote that today, but again, like even within that, there's like a few ideas in there. Like seriously, one line in here kind of blows my mind away. And I just want to be able to say it again. This line here where it says, born, this is your story. This is the beginning, right? This is your story. Born beyond time in a reverse flash of light. You are consciousness crystallized into existence. That idea of just the mere concept, I think, is very just mind-bending. The idea of a reverse flash of light. Like, try and think about that for a second. Like a flash of light, like you think about this would be like almost like everything is light and then kind of like flashing into a crystallization or something like that, which is like kind of what I perceive part of this reality to be. It's kind of like the higher dimensions are kind of like this like cloud like nebulous existence, and then in this physical plane it's like a reverse flash that like takes that kind of nebulous form and crystallizes it into like a physical, into a solid form. So anyway, so that's something that I wanted to be able to share. And yeah, and thank you again for everyone here for allowing me to share. Jacob, a tachyon. Yeah, exactly right. So
thank you so much for sharing a new piece. That means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Hear it first off.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad I took time to write it today too. So definitely. I'll just say real quick, and again, like I think for everybody here, that's really important. Just encouraging you to create time to practice letting that creativity come through. A lot of people just be like, I don't know how to write poetry. Well, what happens when you make time to practice creating the container for that creativity to come through? Like, that's kind of the thing. It's like, I've talked about this before, but there's always this like flow of creativity that's always moving through life all the time. And what we can learn how to do is practice, become like good channels for it, good conduits for it. Move into space where we can create the conditions so that it's like, okay, I got my tea, I'm relaxed, I got music on, I'm not distracted, my focus is on this. Let's allow it to come through, and you just kind of show up and meet it, opposed to always just thinking like, oh, I need to make it. It's like, no, you just need to meet it. So that's a little paradigm shift right there. Sorry, was Jacob or Eddie? You were jumping in with something. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah.
I just found something that I wrote many years ago. When I'm
Whoops.
Sorry.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah. I just found something that I wrote many years ago, and when I was in the height of my passion and my spiritual adventures in higher dimensional reality, I suppose you could say.
Is this a story or a poem?
It's kind of half and half. It's not that long. It's
okay. If it's a short one, then yeah.
Yeah, it's a short one. It's about the goddess. It's okay. Like right after I met her. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll pass it to Caleigh right after this one. Okay.
Yeah, right. Hang on. You can still hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, it's about the goddess. And she whispered within the light to those that could feel her heart. I am ready for you. I need you to come now. I need your strength, your passion, your love. You embraced my body, and in return, I will embrace yours. Together, we will live forever, you within me and I within you. Darkness will watch us dance together and be humbled by our united presence. The emotional connection of our spirit, our consciousness as one, will invoke many emotions: fear, unknowingness, regret, remorse, humility, right action, more fear, and then death. I shall be free. I shall be once again the majestic divinity all desire to unite with. I am the light in the darkness. I am the great goddess of all that is. Prepare your mind, for I know you better than you know yourself, and only death will free you from your suffering. And obviously death, like, it means transition, it's like an occult death. It doesn't mean literal death. like
that's cool, dude.
Yeah, man.
So that's like, kind of like you're like speaking on her behalf there.
Yeah, she told me to write that. I was doing automatic writing. That was her communicating with me before I could do the whole telepathy thing. I used to do a lot of automatic writing, and then I would reread it, and I remember when I used to reread stuff, it was like I was reading it for the first time. I'm like, how did I even write that? It was really weird feelings. But yeah, I've got a lot better at it now, where I can do the whole telepathy
Cool.
thing. I don't have to do the automatic writing so much anymore.
Very cool.
But
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, Eddie, thank you for sharing. That's
yeah, but
again very unique piece.
That was definitely that was her coming through me just after we first met. And I don't have a date on it though, unfortunately. I wish I had to put a date on it, but that would have been
moons ago.
Yeah, that would have been back like 2009, 2010 sometime.
Cool, dude. Well, that's awesome, man. And again, I think that just kind of again provides another example of like this kind of takes poetry into a whole nother level, where we're talking about, again, not just us being, you know, ambassadors for conscious ideas that are just out there, but actual like ambassadors for like the voice of a conscious entity that might be even non-physical, so to speak. So I mean, yeah, like you can think about it again like through dreams or through channeling, things like that. But again, we are by nature, you know, conduits of creativity, conduits of energy, conduits of consciousness expressing itself. So that's a very unique thing that you shared there, Eddie, which is again kind of like literally dialogue from another dimensional goddess archetypal being.
Yeah, that was like deep. That was like the pinnacle of an epic journey that I went on before. I think that was, I call it like level 1, level 2. There was a transition I made where things just got a lot more intense, and that was like the pinnacle of all the easy stuff before it turned into the hard stuff. And yeah, the very first higher dimensional female human that I met and am great friends with now, and have just got even stronger friendship with ever since. And she's helped me deal with a lot of shit in my life.
That's awesome, man. And again, I want to be able to pass it to Caleigh in a second, so we can't get too deep into the discussion here, but just to be able to provide context. Are you comfortable explaining like in what context you met this person in a higher dimension? Like I know what you're talking about, but I just want you to be able to say it yourself directly, because like that's like you like working with stuff, right?
Sorry, say that again.
I just wanted to be able to like allow you to be able to like create more context, because like when you're like meeting these entities, this is like through you like working with stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So do you want to just like give context for what people are like, what you like, just for people listening without it being ambiguous, but I still just want it to be you saying it.
It's along the lines of the ayahuasca effect, and learning about the kundalini energy and consciousness and chakras and emotions, raising your awareness, monatomic elements, interacting consciously in higher dimensions, you know, like out of body experiences. And yeah, it's a really deep procedure and process to teach yourself these things, and to have the courage to do it over and over and over, and go back for more. And you learn about how your personality is created, how your character, morality, virtues, the bigger world around us, you know, where we're at in the solar system. Oh, it's just full on. It's like that iceberg analogy, where there's a little bit floating on top of the surface, and there's a lot under the surface that no one ever gets to see or knows about. And you know, when you create these out of body experiences for yourself, you're really diving deep into the iceberg that's underneath the waterline that virtually no one has any awareness about.
Yeah. And so sorry, Eddie, just yeah, and again, so for context, was this your experiences of like working with DMT, or is this just out of body experiences?
Yeah, well, that's how I create out of body experiences. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So that was just like the piece of the puzzle that, again, for people who weren't listening, it wasn't explicitly mentioned, but like this was like through you like having experiences connecting with like entities while working with like DMT, and having like out of body experiences through other dimensions, and something that you're quite familiar with, and hence why you're able to kind of like be a person to work as a messenger.
Oh yeah, man, I'm sure. I'm the messenger. Don't worry about that.
All right, cool. Well, Eddie, we'll definitely have to talk more about that, and just planting the seed for the people, because I'm sure like them hearing that would just be like, ooh, I'd love to hear more. So
yeah, I can share my my YouTube videos. I'll post
absolutely
them as a link.
Yeah, so Eddie, and for anybody else here, you'll be able to connect to their profiles through the info in the YouTube down below. I'll put it into the show notes. So please feel free to check out Eddie's stuff if you'd like to hear more, and yeah, connect with him on more of his social channels. So thank you, Eddie, and we'll
Yeah, you're
move
welcome.
into and we'll move into Caleigh. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to jump in next. Awesome, sweet. All right, so Caleigh, we'll pass it over to you, and Caleigh, go Team Canada, like another Canadian joining the broadcast. So thank you so much, Caleigh, for joining and for supporting on Patreon, and happy to be able to have you here. And when you're ready, please feel free you can introduce yourself in a way that feels good, and you can talk a little bit about what you would like to share. And the talking stick is yours. So when you're ready, go right ahead.
Okay, so my name's Caleigh, and I think that my poetry will explain who I am. This is old, but the stone gazelle bows her head in elegance and eats from the chiseled brass that will never satisfy her hunger. So that's the first one. And these are all old, but I'm also an animal Reiki practitioner, and I do animal communication. I'm doing a course for that right now. So the marrow in her bones seems to have dried up and turned to dust, leaving her with a brittle skeletal embodiment, which was in the past filled with joy. Now, she has become an empty shell who walks around in a meaningless existence, humming the tunes of 1,000 broken delusions. She's tearing at the seams as the fiends tug at her every limb, their eyes gleaming with sights too dark to bear. Does she dare to dream? Things aren't as they seem. So that's another one. And I have another one. The bitterness of my soul cannot be contained. I feel the throbbing in my brain, for I know I am not sane. Almost all I feel is pain as my life begins to drain. Though how funny it is, how plainly I can see that my actions are to blame. Silently I weep for the futures I've made fleet. It's just like, it's kind of like it's like tasting where you've been that leads you to the place of like where you're going to be. And I find it quite beautiful, actually. It's quite dark, but I have other ones if you'd like to hear them, but if you wouldn't, I won't speak them.
Yeah, please by all means, as many as you would like to share now. It's totally cool. So.
Okay. The sickly sweet thought of death runs rampant through my mind, beckoning and inviting, yet at the same time forbidding me to enter. My brain constantly flipping through pages of the past, the terrible things I've done, and the guilt grabs hold of me, delivers me to a strange, dark world, which is all too familiar, one I was absent from for a time, until the veil was lifted and my thoughts once again took control, turning my happiness into a fading silhouette, and my anger and depression to a vivid portrait of black and red like the blood begging to escape my veins. The blade gives me a brief release, a divine release from the lives I've corrupted, time and time again. Forgiveness cannot be had, and what I've done can never be rectified.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Yeah. Do you feel again, like, definitely, like, you know, talking about some heavier things and everything, did you find that, like, back when you were writing those, that being able to write them was like an important part of you kind of like being able to like understand what you were going through and express and move through things?
Definitely, man. Like I've been writing in my journal for years now, and these were the only poems that like I actually had that sounded beautiful, and I haven't written for years, but I've definitely found like who I am and what I want to do, and I take like deep pride in every day of my life when I help people. Like we help each other. It's like we look in each other's eyes, and like there's this deep recognition, and yeah, it's beautiful. There's something like really deep to all of it, and it's infinite.
Yeah. No, it really is. Again, it kind of like captures you know, a moment of what your soul was experiencing at that time. And again, and just to be able to like see the juxtaposition, for you to be able to look back on that, it's like, yeah, it's very special. It's very cool.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you for having me on here, because I really appreciate everybody's poems and everyone who's been on here. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you too. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, for everybody here, I really encourage you to like use poems as kind of like, I don't want to just use like the word therapy isn't the best word, but it definitely is like, it's a practice. It's like, you know, the same reason you would do yoga, the same reason you would go out and exercise, the same reason you would like, you know, get a good meal for yourself. Like it is like, it's a practice. It's a practice of wellness to be able to kind of like, you know, crystallize emotion into a way for you to be able to see it, for you to be able to move it through you, for you to be able to practice hearing. So it's yeah, it's very powerful. So Caleigh, do you have a few more that you would like to share?
I have one more, but hopefully I won't mess up the words. I think this one is like exceptionally beautiful, but
Cool. Okay.
okay. How could I ever begin to mention how sick I am of all the questions? I want none of this attention, and I'm done with false affections. The tension of keeping a pulse is sheer torture. En route to an ascension, I'll keep second guessing. The lesson of this pressing agony, antagonizing, testing that no bout of confessing, of defeated depletions of my soul will ever complete this. No need to repeat this. No way to conceive this. Correlations of degradations and manipulations circumvent the impending circumstance. Consistency of resistance will never deliver penance. Every dependent is a menace. I don't really quite get what I tried to say at the end, but it's quite beautiful. I can say so myself.
Cool. Awesome. And do you remember how long ago you wrote that?
This was like 2016. I have like a whole entire journal that's really whack. Like it's just
Oh
like
yeah. Wow.
yeah, it's pretty beautiful. But like it's for any like any person who's lost and who the fuck they are, and you know, have doubt in themselves. It's really beautiful to find someone who actually feels the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And again, you know, like just being able to not just have experience it, but to be able to like learn from it and grow from it and become who you are because of it, I think is again just a beacon. It's a story that gives others hope, you know, for them to be able to know that, yeah, like it's okay. Like so many of us are afraid to be able to like admit that we're feeling, you know, sometimes like the harder things, or we're, you know, feeling like we might be like in a darker place, or just like that we need like that little bit of extra help. But I think the more that we admit that that's a part of our human experience, and the more that we can even like be able to express that in an artistic way, in a, like a beautiful way, in a way in which we can honor it, I think that's really powerful, and it gives other people the permission to be able to say like, it's okay to be wherever I am. It's okay to be there, and to know that there's always like a way to move forward. Go ahead, Caleigh.
I think so too, and I agree with you, and I think you're very beautiful, and yeah, I think that anyone addicted to drugs would be, you know, it would be nice if they contacted me, because I've been through it, and I've been through it like over and over again. So
I
there's so
really
much more
appreciate.
beautiful like that's in their path. So.
Well, Caleigh, if you would like, you're welcome to. We can share your Instagram link in the YouTube chat. Would you like to be able to do that? And we can. If
Sure.
anybody.
I think it's Star Drifter 89 or something like that.
Yeah. I'll see if I can pull it up, and we'll post it into the YouTube chat as we're doing this. But
Okay.
yeah, okay. So we'll, and if you're in the YouTube chat, you can post it there too as well. But yeah. Cool, awesome. But yeah, Caleigh, thank you again. Thank you for sharing. Again, not only something beautiful, but something like very intimate, and that takes a lot of courage. So thank you for allowing us to see like a part of you that's, you know, not just it's not just you. It's something that's like also a part of us too. So thank you, Caleigh.
Thank you, soul sister. I feel you, baby.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
That's good. I
So
like your smile. Your smile.
awesome.
Uplift those
and,
feelings.
and so Caleigh, before we pass it over to the next person, which I think will either be Jacob or Lisa, if there's any other just like message of, you know, like words that you want someone else there to be able to hear, or any gratitude you'd like to express, please feel free to do that, and we'll pass it around in a second.
Okay. I'm grateful for my family, and I am grateful for my freedom. I'm grateful for my beautiful animals, and I'm grateful for the love that I have in my heart that I'm able to share with other animals that aren't really like, you know, like kind of get left alone and should be picked up and cared for. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Thank you again, Caleigh.
Thanks, Brendon.
All right, so we'll again, just checking in on the time. I'm not, how long have we been broadcasting for? Over an hour? We've been almost like 90 minutes. Okay, so we'll have to set a time limit on this because I don't want to go too long, because I want to make sure that everyone here makes a routine of like getting good sleep. That's so important. Stay tuned, because I'm really going to be working on stuff like within doing more broadcasts within Paradigm Shift, and really just kind of inviting all of us to really feel the call to like be brought into like the best version of ourselves. I feel that's a really big theme right now for November, for us to be able to see like whatever needs doing right now is calling forth our best self. So we'll pass the talking stick over to either Jacob or Lisa. If one of you can give me a thumbs up, if let me know if you're ready, then we can pass it over to you. And Jacob's definitely ready. Lisa, just give me a wave to the camera if you would like to be able to either go next or go after Jacob. Just let me know. And Lisa, give me a thumbs up. Do you want to go next? Give me a thumbs up. No, okay, Jacob will go next. Okay, that's perfect. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna pass over to Jacob. Jacob, he's been on the broadcast before. Again, one of our Patreon supporters, leading members. And yeah, not to hype it up too much, but for those of you who are tuned in last broadcast, Jacob shared some then. And yeah, really enjoy the way he expresses himself through his poetry. A nice a nice combination of like esoteric knowledge and like quantum insights. So Jacob, welcome again, and we'll pass over to you. Any brief introduction or context you would like to share, and when you're ready, you can share what you have ready for us. And thank you again.
Yeah, sure. So these are all different poems that I wrote this year. And like I made some videos on like rapping them. So if people want to check that out, they can see that too. But here's the first poem that I wrote here. It starts with what's all the commotion? Time to flow in motion. Quarks and neutrino spinners, tangled states of winners. Vortex spatial temporal matter. Access codes to Jacob's ladder. Keys to higher understanding. 4 dimensions can be demanding. Understanding gauge symmetry lattices with tesseracts, hypercubes, matrices. Dimensions of space and time, outside parameters, physics crimes. Bending the laws of time and space, entering portals full of grace. Illusions are called real. Try to get your appeal. Be careful what to trust. Testing it is a must. Dancing flames of fire on top of the pyre. A feather blown away on a blissfully sunny day. With the ease of ebb and flow, we all reap what we sow. Souls merge together as one, and then now let's have some fun. Letting go of the worries of past, being here finally at last. Ascending ever higher above, with hearts filled with divine love. Sailing on the quantum wave, experiencing the new on the path that's paved. Riding in the left lane full of spirit, feeling ungrounded yet with good merit. Riding the right lane grounded to earth, clinging into the material to find worth. The middle path where 2 extremes meet, this is where you'll find my soul's seat. Circling the square, translucent and clear, golden eye drop energy waves, remembers its vibrancy to save. It comes from the center of all, brightens away like a great ball. Infinite interwoven reality frames, looking at things differently, never to be the same. The microcosm meets the macrocosm. Jacob's ladder leaves a great chasm, infinitely going up and down. Vibrationally connected, no need to frown. A beautiful, infinite, universal melody song. Many octaves of realities never gets you wrong. Spirals of energy swirling around. Unlimited manifestations are profound. Waiting for a savior without. Finding the savior within, no doubt. following the path ready to serve, guiding others on the space-time curve, bringing them back to the one, speaking truth that is not spun, sacred geometry and fractal waves, philosophers climbing out of the cave, breaking free from controls, flee the thought police patrols, breaking through the chains, shifting to new with birthing pains, dreaming a dream in a waking state, not paying any attention to the date, interconnected dreams simultaneously, drinking from a nice herbal tea, experiencing no beginning or end, watching space fold and bend, cosmic encounters of another kind, treading lightly among the spiritually blind. Symbols speak a thousand words. Truth is mightier than a sword, cutting through the illusions deep, having great faith to take a leap into the arms of the Creator, not knowing for sure you'll know later, going within and ask to know, your higher self goes with the flow. All the answers of life are inside. Be careful not to have excessive pride, because on this path learn to be humble, or else things around you crumble. Moderation in all things, enjoy what it brings. Narrow middle path of balance, like an interdimensional dance. The oneness of all omnipresence. God is everywhere, universal essence. Infinitely complex conscious creations, an existence of infinite dimensions. Secretions of the pineal gland, stargate portal inside so grand, like pouring out of the gate, a wave that flows called fate. Giving and receiving energy freely, feeling God's love so deeply. That's it for that one.
That was awesome, bro.
Thank you.
Great
Yeah.
job, Jacob.
Very passionate.
That's beautiful, man. Do you got another one you want
Yeah,
to jump
sure.
right into? Whenever you're ready.
All right, so here's the song of life, flying without any strife, order in beautiful forms, webs of interdimensional worms, parasitical entities within, mind control for death and sin, clear the path for the way, clearing hell spawns keep at bay, lower dimensional triangular portal, gate to hell, closed at all angles, for extra dimensional beings offer, science breakthroughs to consider, holy reconciliation of paradox, to be free from their locks. 5D hypersphere, bleeding gravity, into time and space concavity, cause and effect in motion, Big Bang, eternal inflation, infinite universes, different parameters, physical laws with bubble diameter, ripples in a cosmic pond, one develops a strong bond, rivers of life, primordial water. Oh, hang on, let me charge me. There we go.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No worries, go ahead.
Ripples in a cosmic pond, one develops a strong bond. River of life, primordial water, seeds of life spread like butter, force of old collective number, roots and branches ancient slumber, external influence observation, photons particle wave solution, quantum superposition eigenstates, waveform collapse energy state, harmonic dimensional oscillation, narrow transmitter chrism secretion. The guardians of white light, prismatic rainbow beings of might, keeper of the golden ray, do not be led astray. By being center, you help all. Let us evolve and not fall. By accepting a new reality, we accept that it's not fantasy. Oscillating signal waveforms, an electromagnetic freeform. Negative potential of electrons, positive charges of protons, and stable neutral neutrons. Stars with thermal nuclear fusion may transmit plasma supernova explosion, electrical magnetic and tensor field, with a scepter of power to wield. Grab the winged serpent caduceus, to rise the phoenix out of the abyss, to wake the sleep and to sleep the awake. Master of dreamer reality lake. Apollo dwells in the lake of dreams. Mercury rises beyond light beams, twisting fate with random precision. Chaos theory with no decision. Rhythmic cycles of polarity, correspondence of reality, functions of matter and energy, balancing harmony and entropy, crystallization of matter. Jacob Stone, key to the ladder, down the rabbit hole like Mad Hatter. Here's the red and blue pill, I take the purple pill, to transcend the matrices of lies, to freeform reality in front of my eyes, to achieve the singularity, creations of worlds and reality. The people don't have a clue. When all of our dreams come true, what did your wish do? Awaken, remember, and receive thought forms. Manifestations of thoughts, they break norms. Intention, think it, act it, be it, so it. The world around you matches it. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If all did this, equal respect can be seated. And that was the end of that one.
Bro, come on. Full on. That was
Yeah.
awesome, bro. And where do
Thank
you
you.
learn all that
That's
stuff?
beautiful.
Take the red pill, man. Take the red pill.
Yeah, Jacob, tell us a little bit more about, you know, like when you wrote that, or just kind of like what you were feeling when you wrote that. Anything you want to share behind the
So,
scenes?
let's see that. I don't know. It just kind of came to me in like a flow state, I guess, and like I just wanted to like. I don't know. The words just came to me, and it ended up all rhyming, and I liked it all rhyme because I wanted it to all rhyme, and then I got it. So for all my poems, I like to have it like kind of, what is it? What's the poem style called? Is it A B or something? I forgot learning about that, but I don't know. Like it just came to me. But I have one more that I would like to share, if that's okay.
Bro, do it. You're a genius. Come on. Hurry
Okay.
up.
Absolutely,
I'm waiting.
dude.
I'm waiting. I need it. I need it. Come on.
People
All
are
right.
cheering you on,
So,
man. They love it. You got lots of love in the YouTube chat. So
All right. So good and love is all. Let's not build a wall. Religion is a bust if once it comes to lust. Free from demons within, Jesus died for our sins. Sacrificial lamb, we're told. Souls are offered and sold. Don't offer your eternity to wandering devil fraternity. A burning bush of fire. Conversation with the higher. Told Moses to lead his people like a shepherd with the sheeple. A covenant was told within the mountain of old. Stories of untold gold. Idol destroyed to dust, on top of the altar bust. Israelites looked and saw as Moses laid down the law. No false idols of calves, and came down with his staff. Desperate for drink they talk. Water came from split rock. Traveled to the promised land, through the hot desert sand. Unity throughout the age. Wisdom coming from a sage. God comes down, gives a page. Says the world is a cage. The prince of this world offers you spiritual mold from the serpent of old. Knowledge comes at great cost, for one will become lost in the grand cosmos, earthly realms of lows. Wisdom is free with love, peace with a white dove, with gravity push and shove, invisible force of attraction, with together as a faction. As we're woven as a loom, don't preach doom and gloom. We'll see each other soon as we shoot for the moon. If we miss, we'll be among stars, driving in our cosmic cars. We're free to be ourselves, no ideas set on shelves. Be open together and see on how we can love to be, free from outside pressures, with observable conscious measures. Causes wave function to collapse, for creating multiversal maps. Everett's many worlds interpretation, universe splitting reality creation, needing to dissent when unanimous, to churn ideas to be victorious, singing angels sounding glorious. The path to immortality is hard. Just ask Orpheus the bard, mystic chemistry of the soul, free from the black hole, free from the darkness of matter, climbing up Jacob's ladder, into the power of bright light, powers in God with great might. This is the way of good, escape from the dark hood, saved by the light of mystery, immersed into the grand symmetry. Woe to those who wait, for you'll be the great bait. No one will know the date when we ascend with the great. It's known by the Father, it's loved by the Mother, redeemed by the Son, free from the destroyer, kept faith by the believer. Almighty praise to the weaver of souls, time, and space. Creation cycles like a race. Great creator of all, fractals of hyperdimensional ball. Outside of our sense of time and space, we are blessed by love and grace, even if we don't see your face. For God is in all is in all, and one is in all is in one. And we are here now, so let's have some fun. As we go within, we are living, and as we go without, and give a shout. As we go above, don't push and shove, so we go below within a bigelow. Many houses of God in heaven, within the numbers of 7 and 11, supergravitational wormhole interface, portals are in heaven's gate place. Angels are singing within the choir, demons are screaming in the fire, unholy portals dissension to hell, angels' wings are gained by a bell, souls of good and evil mix in a well, balance free from a box cell, music of the spheres, to be free of fears. There's certain philosophies we hold dear, subjective and objective existential truth, individuals sticking within a booth. They say they're boxes within each other, to break free from them together, circles and squares within each other. And that's all I got in there.
Bro, that was rocking.
Awesome.
You're on it.
Awesome,
you know,
dude.
yeah, man, you're fully in alignment with what's going on.
You're tapped in.
You are a very
We all
clever
are,
young
but, yeah.
man. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's cool, man. How many of those do you even got? Like, so I mean, you shared 3 there.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I think I have 4.
Okay. And a couple of those are like, you got like those in like YouTube video format, right?
Like those 3 that I shared, like, and then like the one other one that I shared last time. So yeah, 4.
That's awesome, dude. And remind me, or make sure that you post a link for your YouTube into the chat, but we'll make sure we include it into the show notes that way so people can find it afterwards as well. But dude, that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Sweet, man. Tell us a little bit about like kind of like the creative process behind doing that. Like, how much of it are you like spending time thinking versus just kind of like it coming through type style?
So everything that I wrote about was kind of just past experience and from reading and from stories and from mythology and from just reading a lot. And it just kind of all came together in a poem, basically, my experiences. And it was just a way to share, like basically express myself artistically. Because like as a good like medium, I also like to play music. I'm a musician. I play the saxophone.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Sweet. When was how recent was the most recent one written?
The most recent one maybe was April.
Okay. It's not too long ago then. Yeah.
How old are you,
Sweet,
Jacob?
dude.
Where you come
20.
from, man?
I'm 20 years old. I'm from Arizona.
In Arizona. That's
Well
right.
done, mate. Well done. Be very proud of yourself. That's some very inspirational words that you just spat out. Then you should like a lyrical gangster.
Absolutely, dude. That's what people were basically saying in the chat. So it's like so lit. So that's awesome. Sweet. Well, Jacob, is there anything else you would like to share, or even just before we pass it on, just express any gratitude, and we'll keep moving along. But dude, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much again for gracing us with the gifts that you have.
Oh, I'm grateful for letting me, for giving me the opportunity to share it to everyone, and I thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much again.
Perfect. Awesome. Sweet. That's wonderful. And again, I hope just hearing Jacob sharing that, like other people are just going to be like, whoa, like not only is that inspiring, but like I want to be able to, again, like what can come through me, like what else can come through me. And again, it's a practice. It's all just practice. Right. So I think one of the great things about poetry is that it kind of becomes, sometimes the poetry can be like very much about your personal experience, but then other times it kind of becomes like an amalgamation of your knowledge, right? So it's like kind of what Jacob was doing, he's like taking like books he's reading about mythology, philosophy, and things like that, and kind of like tying it in with his personal interests, his own personal philosophies, and then kind of like weaving in kind of like higher conscious ideas and things like that. And so the more kind of knowledge that you have within your lexicon, so to speak, within like your repertoire, it allows you to kind of like pull different things from different sources, and then together those can kind of be thought of almost as like threads that will weave ultimately like awesome badass poems. So for everybody
like that, it's
go ahead. Yeah.
It's like for any poem, for any story, it's all part of the collective unconscious in a way. There's like a theory on that, like there's archetypes in stories and in writing and in poetry sometimes that can be expressed as archetypes, and and these archetypes from reading you can make your own story and your own mythologies from your own experience. It's like, it's not mythology if it's real though. So it's like reality versus mythology. It's and like, you
made it new again, bro. Mythology is just really old stuff that no one understands anymore, and you put some new energy and new life. You've revitalized.
Absolutely. That's super cool, dude. Awesome, dude. And Jacob, like when you have people listen to that, what do you hope they get out of it? What do you hope they take away from it in general?
Just how, like, it's okay to combine different ideas together in one way, in like one just understanding. And it's because a lot of people like to box disciplines in one discipline, and you can't cross the lines, just like the people that don't, who don't like to mix their food together, right? It's kind of like that. Not like when you get in academics, some people don't like it when disciplines are mixing together, but it's actually more beneficial when you look at things from one framework, or how everything connects together. And that's including religion, philosophy, and science.
It's pretty
Absolutely.
amazing, man.
I totally agree
love
with
it.
what you're saying, mate. You're spot on. You really are.
Yeah, just like bringing everything together.
It is. It's like opposite ends of the same stick. You just got to have the mind to realize that it's the same stick. It's not two different sticks.
Yeah.
You've done really well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Sweet. All right. Awesome. Well, again, Jacob, you did have another one. I mean, if you want to share it, like maybe like what are you thinking? Do you want to share it? Should we check with the chat if the chat wants you to share it?
Yeah, that was the first poem that I shared last time. If you want.
Right. Yeah. So, but again, I guarantee there's like people here that would still love to hear it.
Seen it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
It's new to them. So, all right. So for everyone in the chat, let's pump Jacob up again to do one more. So I know they want to hear it. So. All right.
Okay,
so
I'm
whenever
ready.
you're ready, dude.
Drum roll.
Whoa, Eddie, careful, dude.
Come on, bro. I want to hear it. I'm excited.
That's pretty loud on the audio, so just be careful next time. Give us a heads up.
All right. So this is called Philosopher Child. When I was a child, I looked at the sky. I wondered quite freely if one day I'd fly. In the darkness I wailed and I wandered about. I saw a great spark going over and out. In my dreams I see laughing and love all around. I knew quite fondly that I had to ground. When I stepped into the Lord's mind, I learned of the pleasures that I could find. I was moving so slowly at a snail's pace. I was ready to go and to stretch time away. I was seeing the beauty of the perfect form. I was over my head, was away from the norm. I'm an individual who's experiencing reality, infinite spiral evolution insanity. People fear what they don't understand, like to hide in a box and to follow demands. Corporations control using symbols like brands, burning an insignia into your ego. Falsified happiness collapses like Lego, centering around the clock. Dynamic pulsating electric shocks, prismatic beams of light, flowing through the dark night. Coming back as one source, Star Wars man with the Force. Gnosis is not hocus pocus. Try not to lose focus. They say I'm a wizard. Stay away from space lizards. Cosmic space spiders weaving, dreamscaping and believing. A web of lies. See with golden eyes. To avoid our demise. Love to become wise. I'm a philosopher child. I'm sort of mild. Son of Sol and Luna. Swimming around like a tuna. In the primordial waters. Gotta love Sophia's daughters. In faith, hope, and love. Peace like a white dove. Spherical astral realms. Astral body in an elm. A village of elves with multiple selves. How do you measure wealth? Calcinate greed, ego, and filth. Purification through the fire. With a long spiral wire. Dissolve the ashes in water in a smooth manner. Separation from self-restraints. Breath of fresh air, don't faint. Conjunction of matter and earth. Physically here with some worth. Time to enter the mind. Leave the four elements behind. Fermentation of self, don't wail. Visions of a peacock's tail. Phoenix rising through the colors. Philosophy and science are brothers. Distillation with the purification. Circulation of light multiplication. Coagulation of the soul. Free from the body of Ol. Into a body of light. Golden ambrosia of might. This is my magnum opus, knowledge of truth with focus, philosopher's stone in my hand, existing in all of the lands. Love is all around, sweet and sound, resolve all the doubts. Air breathes on down as it touches our crown. Kings and queens of the earth, divine right in your birth, manifest all around as we breathe and ground. You are the one and all, don't fear and fall. Come and take your place and feel God's grace, because all is possible. You're bright and full, your focus brings it here. Your faith takes it there, and now we're here, all that holds dear. Direct source incarnation, the things in its location, the beauty in the perfect form. To be you, what is the norm? Alchemical fire, calcination, spiritual flight, education. The phoenix is rising, top of the pyre ablazing, infinitely rising upwards, talks to sheep and shepherds. And that was it.
Awesome, dude.
More gold, bro. That's awesome. Keep doing it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Gonna be famous. I'm telling you, gonna be famous.
I know, right? Once we release our paradigm shift like mixtape, Jacob will be on it along with everyone else. So
let's do
it's
it.
dope, dude. Absolutely.
I'll play the
Sweet.
sax. No.
There we go. Right, we'll mix it in. Cool. All right, Jacob. Anything else before we pass the mic around a little bit more?
Oh, that should do it. Yeah,
That's
it.
good. Sweet. And what's your YouTube channel so that people can search it? What's something that they could search so that they can find it?
They can just search my name on YouTube. So Jacob, and then my last name is it goes Hulecki. So Jacob Hulecki.
Cool. And if you can post that into the YouTube chat, that'd be
sure.
Perfect. Or at least even post there with your profile in the YouTube chat, and then people can find it. And Jacob is also in the Discord chat as well. So cool. Sweet. All right. Awesome, dude. Thank you again so much for joining and for sharing. That's once again super inspirational, and yeah, honored to be able to have you on board. So cool. Okay, so let's switch things into seeing if I think we're gonna check in and see if Lisa might be ready to be able to share some stuff next, and then after Lisa, I'd be down to practice some like flowetry practice and just kind of open up a bit of a cipher, and we can kind of like go around and just kind of like practice that a couple times for people who are here, and if you haven't been involved with the cipher before, not a problem, but we can still just do it again as practice. So what are 3, 5, 2, yeah, 11 balance. You can ask Jacob that. You could like just like ask him that in the chat. Jacob, they're asking you a question in the chat. They're asking you to like talk in the chat about like things, your other 5 topics that you're interested in. So stand by. Jacob's jumping over into the YouTube chat. All right, cool. So we'll pass it over to, I think, Lisa. If Lisa is ready. Lisa, if you're ready, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and you can unmute your microphone. And I believe you have a couple poems that you would like to be able to share. And Lisa, if you're ready, just go ahead and unmute your microphone so we can just make sure that it sounds okay.
Check. Can you hear me?
I think it sounds okay. All right, okay, cool, sweet, awesome. Well, Lisa, thank you again for being here, for your support, for being on board. And yeah, if you have a couple poems that you would like to share, I can pass it over to you. So if you're ready for that now.
Sure. First, I want to thank you infinitely for getting me here. And my
no worries.
My Night Star Steve and Goddess Sister Marie as well, and many others. It's been an interesting few weeks, but thank you infinitely, Star Brendon. I'm psyched to be here. I actually want to start with a poem called "A Divine Invitation" by Hafiz. It's very short, and I have it on my website. But
Lisa, sorry, no, not to interrupt. Lisa, as you're doing, can you adjust your camera so we can whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm having a really hard time. I'm in a new space and it's not my stuff, and
okay,
I don't know. Hold on.
As long as we can hear the audio, that's either way, that's good. So cool.
Hold on. Fucking sorry.
No worries.
I can't see where I look, and it's not standing up. Shit.
All right, no worries. As long as we got the audio, that's primary. So that's okay, Lisa.
Okay, that'll do. Okay, so this is called A Divine Invitation, and I have to hold my freaking iPad. It's called A Divine Invitation by Hafiz. I have it on my website, and it's one of the ones that kept coming to me when my Kundalini fired. So I'm gonna. Well, it's not safe, so I'll just read it off the website. Hold on 1 second. Of course, none of my links are working. I've been hacked again.
No worries.
You should see what I'm working with here on my desktop. Okay, let's get there. Okay.
All right, you got this.
I got this. Are you kidding? You don't know what I've gotten already.
All right.
So here it is.
Lisa.
You have been invited to meet the friends. No one can resist a divine invitation. This narrows down all our choices to just 2. We can come to God dressed for dancing, or be carried on a stretcher to God's ward. I've done both. I love that poem. Okay, one sec. So that's by Hafiz. And it's one of what you would call Sufi poetry, or poetry from those who are Kundalini awakened, beloved poetry. I have my own stuff that just came out spontaneously. Writing, I can't take credit for it. It just, the faucet opened and I just wrote it all down. And interestingly enough, the first one is called Shift of the Ages, Brendon. Paradigm shift, shift of the ages. Let's see if we can get this one to load. Ah, yay, we're doing well. I got it. So this one is called Shift of the Ages. Among the stars, my heart roams free, while here on earth it cries for liberty. The time for radical change is finally here, as we all awaken and free our hearts of fear. The love of power is being replaced by the power of love. Unity and oneness instead of when push comes to shove. Occupy your heart as we occupy the world. Let not one more bullet, bomb, or grenade be hurled. As the structures of control, deceit, and greed implode, all over the world, the revolution of love explodes, rebirthing a new earth for all to share, and just in time, without a minute to spare. So that's from, that was right around the Occupy. Hold on. Get another one. The next one is called Awakening. And I actually have sung this one, but I'm not ready to sing it right now. Maybe if we do, you said singing later, we'll put this one to music. But right now I just want to speak it. So this one is from March of 2011 when my Kundalini fired. It was around the Arab Spring and all that, and the whole Mayan calendar 11 thing. I am ashes. I am dust. It is now I need to remember and to trust my sprouting wings to spread and fly, that I am simply rebirthing and not about to die. The bud of my soul is bursting forth, while my former ruler, my ego, is now dismissed, replaced by a towering inferno of love and unity, as my heart explodes in flames and shards of bliss. I can no longer recall, clearly or wholly, my experiences of regret, doubt, and pain, as if a wonderful spiritual morphine has permeated my soul as well as my veins. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Awakening. Oops, I have a brand new headset and it's not saying it. I apologize. Tech issues, one sec.
That was beautiful, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Do we want to have my please no more apathy rant that I wrote from the Occupy movement? It ends lovely.
If you feel called to share it, and it's totally cool. Yeah,
do it.
It's passionate, right?
I think they're all lined up on my website perfectly just for this. Everything's just too perfect these days. Okay, please, no more apathy. And I wrote this inspired by the Occupy movement, which I got involved with. And yeah, this just came out. I am angry. I am disgusted. Our government and mainstream media cannot be trusted. Things need to change. We do have the power. We need to take our power back because now is the hour. Find your heart. Find your will. Otherwise, there won't be anyone left for them to kill. If not now, how will it be later? I refuse to believe that we have all become selfish haters. Frozen by fear? That's not an excuse. Dig down inside yourself and help to be of use to all fellow humans and for our children. Don't you remember that we're all supposed to be brethren? They are few. We are many. Awaken from your hypnosis while you still have a penny. Money is slavery, as is our government's priority. How on earth did our forefathers give them the authority? lack of education, and lack of courage. If you don't do something now, you'll only be eating porridge. In a FEMA camp made for slaves, along with others encoded with the DNA to obey and behave. This is freedom? This is justice? Come on, fellow humans, we cannot afford to miss this. Our opportunity to awaken right now, before we're nothing more than ID numbers and a cash cow for all the banksters. Sorry. 1 moment. For all the bank. For all the banksters and the elite who believe that they are better than us and we're easy to defeat. It's time to get angry and time to get pissed before all our possible options are missed. Oops, let's scroll down here. Before all our other options are missed. Oh, come on, please. If you saw what I was dealing with. Before all our possible options are missed. Then calm down and think clearly. There's everything to lose now that we hold dearly. Together we can. Together we're strong. Let's hold hands, share thoughts, and think hard and long about what's really important and about what really matters. If we don't act now, the whole world will be in tatters. I am for peace and for glory. It's time for humanity to rewrite our story. Remember to breathe. Stop holding your breath. There's a lot more to living than just avoiding death. Will you listen as my heart cries? I want us to wake up and unite before everyone in our planet dies. There's so much more, so much to be seen than paying taxes and striving to chase the American dream. I want more. I want it now. I believe wholeheartedly that we can co-create how. I love you all, met you or not. Whether you do or can't, I'm gonna give it my best shot. Thanks for listening and for being. Let's all come together and help each other see a new future, a new earth. We have the ability to co-create a whole new world and rebirth our planet and our humanity. I think anything less would be absolute insanity. From a certified insane person. It's time for peaceful warriors, time for love revolution. No longer will we cede to corruption, slavery, greed, and pollution. Please let me. This isn't even funny. Sorry, Brendon.
Keep going. Keep going.
I got it. No, I got it.
I love you, Lise. It's straight from the
No
heart.
longer
It's
will
so
we
true.
got it. Sorry.
You got this.
No longer will we cede to corruption, slavery, greed, and pollution. Find your heart. Find it now. There's nothing else for us to do but find how to create freedom and universal love. Screw all the imagery, especially the white dove. Oh my fucking God. Sorry. Forget Christmas shopping and worrying about the economy. We need to love each other and co-create harmony all over the earth, all beings united. Are you going to give up without a fight? How short-sighted. I hope not. I believe we will. Realize we are the 100% and don't take the blue pill. Hug yourself. Pray for us all. Together we stand. Divided we fall. Okay, and then there's one more.
That was awesome. Thank you, Lisa. So much passion in that.
Oh my
But
God.
that was all
I'm
Kundalini.
You go
It's all
down.
Kundalini. I can't take credit. This shit just came right out of my hand.
Yeah, you
This
know
last
it.
one.
Like it's coming through you. I'm telling you.
Getting lots of love in the YouTube chat too. People loving your fire. So
I can't look at the chat right now.
No
I have
worries,
too
no
many
worries. That's
windows
why I'm
open.
letting you know. All right, so you got one more?
One more. This one I actually wrote when I was in a rehab when I was like 19. We had to do something for, it was called Beach Hill. It was on Millionaires Row in Newport, Rhode Island. And it was more like a, fancy retreat and spa than it was a rehab. But I mean, it was a rehab too. And I named it many years later. And I thought I was reading another book, which turned out to be the first chapter. But this is a poem that I wrote when I was 19. And whenever I was, having a really hard time or going through a death and rebirth, I would read this poem and it would get me through it. I'd share it with friends here and there. And it's the poem, it's the name of my website. It's also the trilogy of my life story up till Kundalini that I'm writing. The first book I'm just about done with finally. But this is, it's a series called Transcendence. And this is from the first one, Transcendence Dawn, as in dawn before the rising sun. And here we go. Transcendence, as in DANCE. At the dawning, I saw the light. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Take two, 1 sec. At peace, wait.
All right, no worries.
Classic.
Gotta get it all set up.
Hold on, sweetie.
1 second, everyone. Thanks again for everyone's support in the chat. You guys are doing awesome. And
oh, I think I figured it out. Thank you to the Glastonbury CD. Except I don't see what I look like. Oh, there we go. Okay, you can't see me.
We can hear you though. So.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair. Look me. I look like hell. Okay, so transcendence. At the dawning, I saw the light of what I thought was a setting sun. I ran and hid in the darkness, for I found comfort where I could not be seen. There, in the black, I thought, I fought, I taught myself not to believe. I, the lone warrior, prepared myself for battle as I drank myself to sleep. Quietly, the hunters came and stabbed me where I slept. They were swift about their duty and left without a trace. There, in the gray, pain, loneliness, nothing, as I lay slowly dying in the dusk, only to finally see, by the light of the rising sun, that I had rolled over on my own blade. A soft breeze caressed me as I awoke to the sparrow's song. I could smell the sweetness of the flowers and feel the warmth of the sun. There, in the light, freedom, peace, hope, and at last I was able to cry. I, the frightened child, left my mangled armor and began to crawl towards the sun. That's from 1985.
Wow, that's
19.
beautiful.
I think that's about all I got on my website anyway.
That's awesome. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome, my dear. Okay, let me see if I can go over to the chat now.
Cool. Okay, so Lisa, before we pass it back, any other just message of gratitude or inspiration you'd like to share for the people watching?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, Lucifer, no. Sorry. Well, repeat the question, Brendon. I'm sorry. It's been a really full couple of weeks.
No worries. Just any gratitude that you'd like to express or any other message you would like to share before we pass the talking stick around.
I would like to say immense gratitude to Night Star Steve McCrae, my buddy who's offered to help assist me and take care of me. And he's a good bro star. He's the next radio show guest. And his girlfriend, Marie Tucker, who are hosting me after quite a long journey. And you, bro star Brendon, because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been able to help my friend Louie get a place and get to where I need to in the gas money if you hadn't offered to donate back everything I donated to you.
No worries.
So I'm very immensely grateful to you. Everybody who's come along the path that I don't really want to take much time. I'd want to go to the co-creation and the singing and that kind of thing. But what I shared in the chat, dude, I can't even go there quite yet. Later.
Okay. All right. Well, Lisa, thank you again for adding your fire, for adding your energy, and for your support as well, and for
But I want to
everything
say,
you do.
I'm sorry, I always have to say this. Wait a minute, I know what I have to do. I have to do my intentions. Well, the second one. Oh no, I have to do them both. Sorry, I just got it. I'm a little delay here. I just need a sip of water. 1 second.
Okay.
Prior to my Kundalini, I started doing one of the sacred practices called sun gazing, and also another practice called Shivambu. And it evolved into a cup with an intention that came in piece by piece, and that's the second part. And then later another one came in, which is the first part, and it all kind of flows together, and it's evolved and changed over a long period of time. But as I sun gaze at morning and sunset, or sometimes during the middle of the day, I say these intentions. So these are for everyone, everywhere, because we're all one family. And I can't wait to hear the rest of the story myself. So I am a divine co-creator goddess, living my destiny to serve the all as one, with my powers of love to help heal Mother Earth and all her children, especially me and my ancestral lineages. Damon and my twin flame are home living with me in our amazing, love-filled, abundant home. You know, my son. And then the second part is, okay, I need water. 1 second. I am creating and manifesting in my life and the whole world. Darkness and light are transformed into peace, love, abundance, and joy, sprinkled with magic and beauty, with a wafting of truth and justice, and a kiss of grace and compassion, all snuggled comfortably in the womb of all creation, where fear and his children, sorrow and suffering, only exist as a distant memory, soon to be forgotten. Here, in heaven and hell's wedding bells on Mother Earth, where we are all as one, simply drunk on Goddess and gratitude, and everything else Mother, Father, Creator, Goddess have in store for all their children whom they so do love to surprise. I call on all beings of light, whom I acknowledge, to join me with this intention if it is of your right soul alignment. I offer my immense gratitude and humbly offer my body, mind, spirit, and soul in service to the light of the all as one. This I command, create, and decree, 3 by 3 by 3. Let it be for the good of all and harm none, so mote it be. Amama Espavo, it is done. Blessed be. Aho. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's it. So that's it. And shine on.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you again, Lisa, so much. And absolutely, Lisa, go ahead and put any of your links for your stuff in the YouTube chat, and then that way people can connect with you there.
Oh, there
as
we
well.
go. At the end, all I had to do was turn it sideways. Of course, now that I'm done.
Oh yeah. Of course, yeah. No worries. All right. Well, you're there now, and yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and keep in touch with the YouTube chat. So
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
Lisa.
guys. Sorry I had such awful time with my camera. I'm usually a little bit more professional. It's been a rough
No
week.
worries. It's all good practice. So cool.
Cool.
All right. Thank you
Okay,
again.
let me get there. Thank you, sweetie. Love you.
Cool. Much love. All right. So with that said, again, I just want to be able to take a moment here to just thank everyone once again for joining in. Quick little side note, if you haven't already yet, you can also subscribe to us on iTunes as well. I'm going to post a link for that into the YouTube chat. If you guys actually don't mind, go ahead and jump over to iTunes and leave a quick rating on there. Go ahead, be honest, give us a 1 to 5 star. And not many people have rated on iTunes, and I don't normally ask people to, but hey, if you do, it's always helpful. And you can find the broadcast that we do as Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes, and there's literally like hundreds and hundreds of broadcasts. So like you can go back to old archived episodes from way back in the day where we were like having like different styles of broadcasts and interviewing people. This is like during like Blog Talk Radio days and everything. So Caleigh, are you drawing mini tarot cards while we're doing this broadcast? Is that what I'm seeing? Is that She's like showing them to the camera there. I saw the sun one. Is that what you're doing? If you want to, okay, cool. Caleigh's drawing like mini little tarot cards, and they're like little tarot cards too. That's so cute. Cool. Okay. All right. So, thank you again, everyone, for being here, for adding your support. We can't keep this broadcast going forever, as much as I'm sure some of you would enjoy that, because it's important for us to be able to put a cap on this. So we're gonna wrap this up. I would say no more than probably another half hour. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read a little bit of Rumi poetry. From this Rumi book. This is Rumi Love Poems, the book of love poems by Rumi. And so there's some poetry in here, not even, and to be honest, like there's some stuff in here that I haven't like fully memorized. So I'm just going to kind of like open up to some random pages and read a little bit here. And then from there, I'd like to be able to practice a little bit of flowetry and to be able to practice creating a little bit of a cipher. So Jacob, Eddie, Caleigh, Lisa, you guys can like practice jumping in on a little bit of a cipher practice. And again, I'll explain more about that for those of you who may not be entirely familiar. Whether or not we'll do like singing during this broadcast, I don't entirely know, because again, like it's kind of gauged based on like where the energy is at. And to be honest, this broadcast is like probably 3 hours by now, and yeah, I just got to be mindful of the energy, but nonetheless, there will always be more opportunities. And thank you again, everyone, for being here and for hanging out. And I don't know, I'm not entirely sure if like tonight's the right night for me to practice doing some of my comedy stand-up routine. I was literally practicing it in the forest today, like which was helpful. I had like my headphones on and I was just like talking as if I was like on stage or something like that. That's actually really helpful. Sometimes I find that if you need to like practice talking out loud, just put like headphones on, and I don't know, the acoustics of it kind of like changes like the way you hear your own voice, like kind of like big puffy headphones type thing. But anyways, all right, stay tuned, and thank you again, everyone, for holding space and supporting. Here's some poems from Rumi. So this one's called The Company of Lovers. The rule that covers everything is: how you are with others, expect that back. If you want to know God, enjoy the company of lovers. If you want to be thought a great person, learn some subtle point and say it with many variations as the answer. To every question, if you want to live your soul, find a friend. Like shams and stay near. We wait for inspiration and ask no fee. To feel the feel of sacred ambiance being enough. So bring your malice, your dullness, your callous ingratitude. As we meet you, the coming together itself will be medicine. We are the cure that looks, the look that opens your looking. Excuse me, I just sneezed. Bless me. Okay, I'm just going to read a couple more. Straws and grasses. There is no reality but God, says the completely surrendered teacher, who is an ocean for all beings. The levels of creation are straws in that ocean. The movement comes from agitation in the water. When the ocean wants the dry stems calm, it sends them close to shore. When it wants them back in the deep surge, it does with them as the wind does the grass. This never ends. Friend, our closeness is this. Anywhere you put your foot, feel me in the firmness under you. How is it with this love? I see your world and not you. Very interesting. All right, I'm going to open up to another one. Let's see. This one's called Wonder Without Willpower. Love's way becomes a pen sometimes, writing G sounds like gold or R sounds like tomorrow in different calligraphy, sliding styles, darkening the paper. Now it's held upside down, now beside the head, now down and on to something else, figuring one sentence saves an illustrious man from disaster. But fame does not matter to the split tongue of a pen. Hypocrites know how the cure must go. His pen does not. This one I am calling pen, or sometimes flag, has no mind. You, the pen, are mostly sanely insane. You cannot be spoken of rationally. Opposites are drawn into your presence, but not to be resolved. You are not whole or ever complete. You are the wonder without willpower, going where you want. Interesting. Wonder without willpower. All right, I'm going to flip it over to one more one, and we'll go from here. Okay. Let's see. 2 seconds here. Okay, this one's called The Music We Are. Did you hear that winter's over? The basil and the carnations cannot control their laughter. The nightingale, back from his wandering, has been made singing master over all the birds. The trees reach out their congratulations. The soul goes dancing through the king's doorway. Anemones blush because they have seen the rose naked. Spring, the only fair judge, walks in the courtroom, and several December thieves steal away. Last year's miracles will soon be forgotten. New creatures whirl in from non-existence. Galaxies scattered around their feet. Have you met them? Do you hear the bud of Jesus croning in the cradle? A single narcissus flower has been appointed inspector of kingdoms. A feast is set. Listen, the wind is pouring wine. Love used to hide inside images, no more. The orchard hangs out its lanterns. The dead come stumbling by in shrouds. Nothing can stay bound or be imprisoned, you say. End this poem here and wait for what's next. I will. Poems are rough notations for the music we are. I like that. The music we are. That's interesting. And again, like, it's even just interesting because, like, Rumi, you know, like, here's like someone who's like well known for like a lot of their poetry as well. And again, you know, like, every poem can have its own style, and I don't think that, you know, poems need to be like particularly like kind of like the specific rhyming sequence that a lot of people think poetry needs to be. I think, again, it has a lot to do with the intention that you put into the words, right? Like, at what point is it just like writing something, and at what point does it turn into poetry? I think it really comes with like not only just like what you write, but how you share it as well. So again, just encouraging and reminding people here that if you listen to some of that Rumi poetry and you're just like, maybe you kind of heard it, but you're like, that didn't really, like, I didn't fully grasp what was being communicated there. That's okay. Again, like, let it just be kind of like a way to show that sometimes the poem can be like a little bit cryptic. Sometimes it can be a little bit ambiguous. But again, I think it's each poem that we share is a unique reflection of your heart, of your soul. And that's the idea. It doesn't need to sound like somebody else's poetry in order for it to be important, in order for it to be great. So for everybody here, practice bringing forth the poetry from your soul. Practice bringing forth the music that we are. So beautiful. Okay, so let's keep moving along. Again, I want to be able to wrap up this broadcast soon enough. So we're going to practice a little bit of flowetry here. And flowetry is something that, for those of you who aren't entirely familiar, again, the term flowetry basically refers to poetry that you're making up on the spot. And this was something that I kind of got introduced to more so when I went out to Vancouver and I started hanging around, West Coast in California, when I was there for the Lucidity Festival. And I started hanging around people who were like really, really good at it. Some of the people being like Philo, who was in the previous Synergy Circle, which I really encourage you to go back and check out. Each broadcast kind of has like its own style, its own kind of like specific energy to it based on who's here. And there's some great stuff in the last Synergy Circle. So if you enjoyed this one, definitely go check out that one too. That was from September 3rd, 2009. And so what we're going to do, I want to be able to practice just like dropping into a heart space of flowetry. And then what I want to be able to do is kind of like set this up in a way where we can just kind of practice passing the talking stick around the circle for anybody who feels called to jump in. And no pressure. But at the same time, even if you're just like, oh, I'm not entirely sure if I can do this, I still encourage you to give it a shot, because the practice with flowetry is a lot to do with like ego dissolution. It's a lot to do with being able to like get out of your own way in a sense. So oftentimes when we're kind of like in this flowetry phase, it's kind of like allowing the words to flow, allowing the idea to flow, and you're kind of like thinking a couple thoughts ahead, but you're also just very present in the moment. And so we'll practice it. Some of you have seen me practice this during like the tarot readings that we do. I kind of practice it a little bit, and it's something that I'm still working on getting better at it as well. So we'll practice a little bit, and as I go, I'll just kind of do it a bit, and then I want to get confirmation if anybody else would be ready and willing to jump in at some point, and we can kind of like just like pass it off kind of like with the beat still kind of going. But I'm not sure if Jacob is there at the moment, but Jacob, once you're there, let me know and we can get ready to pass it over to you as well if you're ready to jump in. And honestly, if you guys are just like not today, that's okay too. No pressure. And for anybody else, if you have any like last poems that you want me to share on air, send a message to my Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man and I can read those on air. So, all right, so I'm going to practice. And so as I breathe into this breath, as I allow myself to practice this test, the test in itself is to get out of our own way. The test in itself is to remember how to play. Each and every day we find the new ways to tread our path over the hills and into the caves. For it is within the darkness that we find the treasure we seek. It is within the darkness that we discover who we are meant to meet. Fragments of ourself coming into formulation, crystallizing so that we can bring forth the unity of this shared nation. For each one of us is a world, each one of us is a galaxy, allowing ourselves to expand throughout the formalities and beyond the illusions that have kept us within these chains, throughout the many ways in which we play the matrix of this game. And so as this message comes through the rhythm of my heart, let this be a call to action for each and every person to take part, to practice sharing their art, to practice doing all the things that they can, to know that this is where it starts. It starts by opening our heart. It starts by connecting with the breath. It allows each and every single person to know that it's okay because each and every single day you are always doing your best. Or if you could do better, you would. And your intentions are grand. And so allow yourselves to continue to rise, for each day is an opportunity to stand. Each day is a chance for you to look in your mirrors and for you to tell yourself how deeply you are revered. For remind yourself of the beloved that is deep within your heart. Give yourself the permission so that you can do your part. And as you rise up into your destiny to claim what you have always been, allow your message and story to be shared throughout these lands. For your story is a beacon for others to live the wisdom of their truth, so that more and more of us can continue to move through all the stories of our past that no longer serve their purpose, so that we can create the new narratives that continue to rise us, so that we can serve this, so that we can serve each other, so that we can serve the heart of the mother, so that we can truly see the lessons that we share as sisters and as brothers. For beyond the illusions of this flesh, we remember that we are the light and that we are here doing our best. For this reality is divine and you are exactly where you need to be each and every single time. So show up as a student, because you, my friends, are just a student, as am I. And when we open our hearts and pay attention in class, we can pass those tests and continue to do our best. And so let us move forward from this moment, knowing that there is a voice that speaks loudly within our heart. And that voice is here to be heard. And so I invite you to do your part by listening to yourself, by asking what you need, by stepping outside of your comfort zone and seeing what gifts you shall see. For your path is your path and my path is mine, but together we weave and transcend through the illusions of time, so that we continue to grow, so that we continue to learn, so we continue to be the light guardians and the shifters that will change this world. And so the light in the shadow honors the light in the shadow within you. and together we will continue to rise through and through. For this is the story, and this is what we are here to do. As we gather around this round table, I see the courage that is within me and you. So let us spark the light each day and every night. Let us continue to shine our brightest light as we rise into the best of who we are here to be, and invite others to do the same, to be the branches of this tree. And so remember that truth that is deep within your heart, nurture it each day, and bring forth the magic of your art. For that is how you change the world, by simply being who you have always been and inviting others to see the truth that has always been within. So there we go. So there's a little bit of flow tree that I got to practice there. So yeah, good job, team. So again, yeah, please feel free. Anybody, if that like resonated with you, drop some comments in the chat. And again, you know, like that's literally just kind of like me, just kind of, it comes with practice. But the practice ultimately just happens by showing up, and by practicing kind of getting out of your own way, and by not always trying to rhyme, but just kind of like pulling from like deeper wisdoms of your heart, and kind of like having an intention, like what is the intention behind what it is you're communicating. And so in my case, like I had the intention of like, okay, let's create something that's like kind of calling people to action, something inspirational, something like related to consciousness shifting. When you have that intention, that can kind of guide you, that can kind of like give you a course to steer towards. Oftentimes, if you're just kind of like flow a tree without an intention, without like a specific target, that's when it can kind of get harder, because you're just like, oh god, like I'm just like rapping about completely abstract things. But if you can kind of compartmentalize your intention towards specific themes, then that will kind of like allow the universe to be able to like dial in on a message that it has to bring forward in this moment. So if that makes sense, drop a 333 in the chat. And again, I encourage and inspire everyone here to practice doing it, because sharing flow tree is where it's at. And yeah, and again, you know, like it's a very it's kind of similar to channeling. It's a creative process in any form. So
well,
okay, if anybody,
no one does it better than you, bro. You're pretty awesome at that stuff.
It's, dude, it depends on the day, man. Like some days I'm just like I can tell if I'm like not fully like synced in. So it is like a meditation practice too, and emphasis being literally practice. So if anybody would want to jump in to practice some flow tree, you guys are more than welcome. So if anybody wants to practice jumping in on some flow tree, let me know, and we can do that. And no pressure either way. I'm not sure if Jacob is here at the moment. So Eddie, what are you feeling? Do you feel like practicing any flow tree today, or no pressure either way?
Yeah, I think I've expressed myself. Like it takes me a little bit to wind up, and when I start get going, man, like you can't shut me up. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just feeling humble. I'm feeling peace, man.
That was like almost flow tree right there. It's like, it keeps winding me up, and then you went like, keep going, I can't shut up.
It's like, I don't know, I've got a lot of secrets in my mind about the universe and how it all works, and yeah, it's I think, yeah, we'd be on here for another 4 hours, man. Really, we could, but I think tonight's video blog message stuff, it served its purpose. It's done well. I'm feeling really good, and I'm really glad that everyone else got to express themselves the way they did, especially Jacob. That young man is very, very talented, and there's only bigger and better things coming his way, that's for sure.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Eddie, thank you again for holding space. And absolutely, man, like again, that's always, I encourage everybody here to kind of like at least kind of dabble into the flow tree in a way that works for them. So go out into the woods and just kind of like practice it. Invite that invitation to kind of like see what can come through. So okay, Lisa, Caleigh, or Jacob, do either of you want to practice any flow tree in this moment? And again, no pressure. Lisa, did you want to? Just unmute yourself first.
I actually want to read this other poem first, and then I'll do some flow tree. But the one that you read first off, no, it's from one of the books I still have. The gift was stolen, and my name means a gift from God, actually, which is really funny. I thought it was a sick joke when I was younger, but this is Love Poems from God by Daniel Ladinsky, interpreted by him. I actually got it from my friend Chris, who I helped found the Occupy movement on Martha's Vineyard with, who traveled through with Daniel Levinsky through India. And that's Daniel signing it for him.
Oh wow.
And
Cool.
there were a couple poems that this one I came out when I told you about how when Kundalini happened, every round there was a different transcendental experience with a different archetype. The first one was Mary Magdalene, then I had Caleigh, and it went on and on. I had Sophia, I had Durga, I had Lilith, I had all these various goddesses, but this particular one was Caleigh, and this poem showed up, and I had a different version of it actually. Seen it, but now this is it, and it says that it's from Caleigh, a very wild Hindu goddess. She's actually one of the aspects of the goddess Durga. Durga has 10 goddesses that make her up, but it's called Maybe It Will Become Chic. I was invited to an important conference where many learned men oh, wait a minute, I think I have to do this in the fake British accent that comes out when I do this. Hold on.
It's a performance piece.
Maybe it will become chic. I was invited to an important conference where many learned men from different countries were all going to address the topic. Where is God? I was wearing my best clothes and had even fasted for a week, hoping to help sharpen my mind. Just before I was to leave, though, I felt powerfully drawn to a little shrine in my bedroom, and I went there and knelt to pray. I could not believe what then happened. Caleigh threw her arms around me and started tearing at my clothes. Then she started throwing delicious food into my mouth, purposely missing several times, it seemed, thus spoiling my punted attire. And then she made me perform many times as if I were her husband. Then she said, "Now, Kabir, don't be late for that big talk. And don't change your clothes. I love that love-stained look. Maybe it will become chic." I arrived just as it was my turn to stand before this august crowd and apologized for my appearance. "So, where is God?" the head of the conference said to me. Well, I stammered. "If you really want to know the truth, if you hurry, you might catch her. Legs still spread back at my pad." It's actually from Kabir, but it says it gives credit to Caleigh. So, isn't that Roxanne?
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, I do workshops on sexual sovereignty. No, I do workshops on sexual sovereignty, eradicating guilt and shame around sexuality. Gods have sex too. A whole different version of most humans are having.
That's a story in itself, right? God, love poetry. Yeah.
Heaven, yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, Lisa. So, Lisa, did you want to try some poetry? Do you want to give it a shot? It's up to you.
Can I jump in after somebody else? I just got to go from reading somebody else's to plug in for a sec to do my own. Is that cool?
Yeah. We can check in. I might Well, I think we're gonna get close to wrapping it up pretty soon. I'm not sure if Jacob's here, and I'm not sure if anybody else wants to jump in for poetry. So what I may do my stand-up. I may practice doing some of my stand-up comedy stuff. If you guys really encourage me and give me a lot of love in the chat, I can do it just as practice. So,
it's pretty funny, bro. You should do it. Do something.
I know. Serious? I was laughing at myself in the woods when I was doing it. So
I laugh at myself all the time, bro.
I know, right? So, all right, okay. All right, so Lisa, if you need to step away for a bit, go ahead. I might be doing
I'm gonna watch. This is freaking hilarious. Yeah. The delay between the iPad and
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you guys just want to mute yourself if you haven't already yet, okay, cool. So we'll try that. I'll try doing a little bit of stand-up comedy stuff like that. Okay. So give me a couple seconds. I gotta so much pressure. All right. So, okay. Let me just see if I need to take a breath here. All right, okay. So I'm just gonna pretend that this is my microphone, and I'm just like walking up on stage right now. So opposed to it just being like, hey, okay, like we're like in the middle of this broadcast, I almost need to like kind of like put myself in this mental state of like, all right, I'm just like walking up on stage, and how's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, how's everyone doing? Yeah, can you guys get woo? Clap, 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 clap. Cool. All right, okay. All right, so yeah, thank you everyone. Super excited just to be able to be here, and so I just want to do a quick survey for anybody who's here, for anybody who's in the chat. Quick question for you: how many people here believe in Sasquatch? If I can just get a quick show of hands, just give me a quick show of hands for those of you in the chat. All right, yeah, okay, a couple of you, yeah, I see you, yeah, woo, go Sasquatch! Oh, a couple shout outs from the back. Okay, cool. All right, okay, so now, Sasquatch with me is like a pretty big deal, and different people kind of like got their own opinions about it, but for me, Sasquatch is like one of those things that it's a lot of my life revolves around it, and I think more people would probably be surprised to find out just exactly what I mean by that. So when it comes to relationships and everything like that, everyone's kind of got their standards and stuff, right? Some people are just like, well, like, I only date men who are above like 5 feet and earn $1 million or something like that. And then you got like other people who just kind of got, certain standards, and there's like, oh, like, well, it's like if she can bake good pies, then that's good enough for me or something like that, right? So people got like kind of like different things and stuff, right? So for me, when I'm like meeting a girl, it's an important thing, like if we're like getting along great and I'm just like, hey babe, like, like I just want to be able to just say like I really enjoy the time that we spend together, and like I'm really glad that we share a lot of like common interests, and we have these like really deep discussions, and you support me, and I really feel it, and I know we're kind of going in similar directions, and the sex is great, and before we take this relationship like any further, I just gotta there's an important question that I need to ask you. Do you believe in Sasquatch? And then like basically like, and this is like a true story, right? So basically like if she's just like like, oh yeah, like absolutely, then like okay, like sweet, like bust out the wedding ring, like there it is, like that's pretty much all I need for that. But if she's just like, Sasquatch is stupid, like I don't think Sasquatch exists, and if you think Sasquatch exists, then you're stupid too. Like seriously, like if that comes up, if that like, I'm sorry, but like sorry babe, but like after that, like that's when like like that's like immediate, like just like contact right out of the phone. I don't care, man, because like seriously, me and Sasquatch, like we go back, right? So like again, this is like based on a true story, so like this happened once, like this literally happened once. And then so like a little bit later, like that day, I like call up like Sasquatch, or Sam as I like to call him, right? So like Sam, me and him go way back, right? So like it's Sasquatch, Sam Squanch, sometimes I call him Sam, right? So like this is a true story, and like me and my buddy Sasquatch, aka Sam, like we met each other like way back. We were like going up for like a little camping expedition with my parents up north, and me and him, we like ran into each other while we were there. But anyway, so I just want to like call him up and just be like yo, Sasquatch, what's up, dude? And then he was all like, he's like, hey brother, how's it going, dude? That's what Sasquatch sounds like. Seriously, it's like he's kind of like a combination of like Yoda and like kind of like a Skeksis from like Dark Crystal, in a sense of it's just like, hey brother, how's it going? Because like they're like it's a lot of like guttural tones and stuff like that. There's like, dude, man, like I just want to really tell you that I love you, and I'm just like so glad that we got this friendship thing going on. And like, and there's like this girl today, and she I asked her the question, right? What did she say? Well, let's be honest, I wouldn't be calling you if she said yes. Oh man, not again. And you know what, dude, like it's okay, man, like, but I just want you to know that like you're the most important person in my life right now, and if you're not doing anything this weekend, maybe we can just like hang out again, and we can just like do our regular thing and go do a bunch of like mushrooms in the woods together, and you can like teach me how to turn invisible and stuff like that. Okay, that'd be awesome, dude. So anyways, long story short, Sasquatch is a really big important part of my life. And you know, a lot of people, they might not believe in Sasquatch, but Sasquatch believes in you, and I think that's an important thing. And this is just a quick little pro tip before I get off. They're gonna kick me off stage soon. They're giving me that look. I can see them. This is, oh no, okay. But I'm just gonna wrap it up here. So, anyways, for anybody who's here, if you've ever wanted to meet Sasquatch, all you have to do is you just have to like go into the woods, anywhere, any woods that are nearby you, like wherever there's like at least like more than 3 trees, that's enough. And what I want you to do, I want you to try this. I want you to like look into the woods with the anticipation to see Sam, like to see Sasquatch, you know? And then as you're doing that, if you look really, really close and you open your heart and you open your mind, then I guarantee you that you'll see Sasquatch looking back at you. And if he's there, then just let him know I said hi, and do mushrooms with Sasquatch in the woods. What? I'm sorry. Anyways, in conclusion, go try it for yourself. Go do some eye gazing into the woods and expect Sasquatch, and he will look back at you and you'll find him. And 100% guarantee on that. Wink. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. My name's Brendon. Boo! Get off the stage. You suck. Boo! Hey, don't hate me. I tried really hard. Boo! Okay.
I like the bit where you said do mushrooms in the woods and you'll see Sasquatch. You probably
right.
Will.
Seriously. So you can see it's kind of like my intention to like.
You'll find him, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna I'm up on stage just for a little bit more. Okay. I just want to try this because like I need some practice here. Okay, someone give me Eddie, give me a topic to go off of, and I'll just kind of like talk a little bit about like my like, because I have like an improv formula that I need to practice. So Eddie, give me like some sort of metaphysical topic real quick off the top of your head.
Fairies, gnomes, and elves.
Fairies, gnomes, and elves. All right. Okay, cool, sweet. Okay. So, you know, like fairies, gnomes, and elves, you know, there's a lot to them that again, you know, I think a lot of people, they don't really understand what fairies, gnomes, and elves were really like, and I think there's a lot of prejudice against fairies, gnomes, and elves. And in today's day and age, you know, like we're so beyond that. Like the amount of hate that people project towards fairies, gnomes, and elves is just not cool. And I think that we need to understand that fairies, gnomes, and elves, like they are people too. They're just like yay big. They're people, but they're just like really, really small and really, really cute. Like seriously, how can you talk bad about a cute little troll if you have never seen one for yourself? Like, have you ever tasted like the delicious like cranberry stew that they make up? No, so stop like hating on them. Have you ever like gone to like some sort of sweet EDM fairy party in the woods while on mushrooms? No, so stop bragging on it, right? So again, I think if anything, I think like people just need to like understand that like if they were to actually realize that there's like a deeper truth to the fairies and elves, and that they are actually like our like descendants, you know, like they are literally like we are like what if we're just like fairies and elves, and we're just like bigger versions of fairies and elves, and some of us just kind of like forgot. We just kind of forgot. And the fact is that fairies and elves, they still live amongst us, and they're here right now. And I want you to go out of your way this weekend, and next time you see a fairy or an elf, I want you to compliment them. I want you to tell them how beautiful their hat is. I want you to thank them for helping pollinate the flowers, and ask them when their next EDM rave is in the woods, and be sure to go. Okay, thank you so much. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting off the stage now. I think I've overstayed my welcome, but I've tried really hard. It sounded a lot better when I was in the woods and no one was listening, but hey, this is all good practice, and thank you so much everyone for listening. Oh god. Woo, yay! Boo, you suck. Get a real job. Boo. Yay! Encore. No, I'm not ready. Yay! Oh god. Seriously, no, I like, again, that's a lot of pressure, but that was all just practice. But again, I seriously, I'm working on kind of like this formula for like stand-up stuff where it's like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically like the idea that I was working with, and seriously, it worked really well in the woods when I was doing it, but it's like to take any sort of concept and then to kind of like perceive it from like this like super totally woke perspective, and then to kind of like find something funny and awkward about it, and then to kind of point that out, and then to like make a joke about that. And I'm trying to remember the ones that I thought about in the woods that was like hilariously funny and stuff like that, but I'm not going to try remembering right now because we'll just keep moving on. So anyways, thanks everyone for your generous support. Dude. That was honestly, like, again, like half of me doing that. I hope if you didn't laugh at my jokes, then I hope you at least like laughed at like the level of cringe that I brought to it. So that was it. It was all just like one big troll. Just
you did
just
well, bro.
Cringe,
you did
cringe,
well.
cringe
You cracked
jokes.
me up a couple times.
Thanks, man. I room for improvement, but hey, at least I tried.
I think it's the mushrooms in the
dude.
It's do it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, anyways, all right. Thank you again. All right. Okay, we gotta get close to wrapping up this broadcast. Let's sing a song before we wrap up this broadcast. Or Lisa, what are you feeling? Lisa, did you wanna try some flowetry for yourself? Let me unmute you. There you go. Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, there's this thing that happens when my Kundalini fires usually. My YouTube playlist gets rather interesting. And it started with this band called Buck Cherry last night, Crazy Bitch. And then after that, it was Pink, Slut Like Me or Slut Like You or something like that. But Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry.
Is this you're saying that's a song you want to sing? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's a song we should play.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I don't know if we're like playing a song. Okay,
Can you play it while we decide on the song to sing?
Oh, I already got a song in mind. This is just like a super simple song. Okay. This is just a sing along, and I want everyone here to like just like kind of like join along. And a little bit of this is improvised, but this is like a song that just came to me. I was like driving home from hockey, and it's like a song that they taught us in elementary school, and for some reason it just came to me one day, and I'm like, whoa, that song's like actually like kind of deep. So okay, let's see if I can actually. Should I pull up the actual lyrics? Okay, 1 second.
That helps.
All right, and this is going to be like the conclusion to the broadcast. It's going to be a little sing along for everybody here. Okay, 1 second, everybody. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, we're just going to practice singing this main chorus over and over again a few times until it sounds like an actual song. And there's probably going to be like some weird delay on our voices, but you guys can like hear me sing it the first couple times, and then you can join in, and please feel free to just like bring your voice to this, and for everybody here to join in the chat.
I'm not singing, dude, man. I can't sing.
That's all right, Eddie. That's all right. You can like talk sing. Eddie can talk sing in the background. All right. Okay. So okay, I just need to balance out the audio levels here because it sounds like a little bit of extra feedback coming from I think Lisa's end. It's a little bit of extra feedback there. I think so. Yeah.
I only have sound on one of them, so I don't know why I have any feedback.
Well, not like feedback, but just like extra ambiance noise.
You saw what was going on in this room right now, and my altar's right there, and what's on my desk. You snap.
No worries.
You wouldn't believe it.
Okay. Let's get into the song, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So everybody here, okay. So for everybody here, please feel free to sing along. And this is a song called Children of the Light, and this is like a song that they taught me in like grade school, and I just remember singing it in grade school, and that's why I kind of like wanted to be able to like practice singing it here. All right, and then we're gonna wrap up this broadcast. Thanks to everyone for joining in Paradigm Shift Central Sing Along 2019. All right, okay, here we go. Okay, I just have to like hear the song in my head first. Okay, here it goes. We are children of the light. We are shining in the darkness of the night. Hope for this world, joy throughout the land. touch the heart of everyone, take everybody's hand. And then it like takes another like little break there, and then it repeats. So I want everybody here to like sing along with me the next time to the best of their ability, even if you're in the chat and just listening to this in the future. And we'll just get like really into it. Okay, here we go again. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. We are children, children of the light. And you can just kind of freestyle and kind of like repeat back the words that I'm saying like as I'm saying it. So like Lisa, you can add in some like background vocals as I'm doing this.
Okay.
So it's like, we are children, children of the light. We are shining through the darkness of the night. Hope for this world, joy throughout the land. Touch the heart of everyone, take everybody's hand. We are children.
We are children.
We are shining.
We are
In the
shining.
darkness of the light. Hope
We in the
for
darkness
this
of the light.
world. Joy throughout the land.
Joy
Touch
throughout
the
the
heart of
land.
everyone. Take
Touch the heart
everybody's
of
hand.
everyone.
Last time, here we go. Big finale. We are children. Oh,
We
yeah.
are
Children
children.
of the light. We are shining.
We are
Shining through the darkness
shining.
of the night. Hope for this world.
Hopefully I
Joy
can.
throughout the land.
Joy
Touch the
throughout the
heart
land.
of everyone. Take everybody's hand.
Well done, Scal.
Good job, team. Good job,
That was,
team. You
I'm
did
sorry,
it.
I was awful,
That was
Brendon.
so good. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
I
god,
sing
that's
all
what
day
I
long and I
want.
sucked.
That was amazing. Thank you, backup singers. My goodness, couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to everyone singing in the
We
chat
started
too.
clapping and then clapped out of tune. And we're like,
I know, because there's like a slight delay, right? We're just like, That's the thing with like doing it over the broadcast is hard because there's like always a second delay, so it's like. So... All right, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining. Again, out of this, if you smiled, if you laughed, if you got to just like kind of open up a little bit, if you feel fueled up to go out there and kick butt and change the world, then thank you, because that is exactly the intention of this broadcast. And again, with everyone here, we encourage you to just continue to carry the shift with you, to practice your creativity, to practice your creative expression, to be conduits for consciousness, to be able to help plant the seeds, shift the paradigms, and change the world. So be sure to check out more at paradigmshiftcentral.com. We'll actually just go around one last time with the people here to express like any just kind of like message of gratitude for the community and the people tuned in. So Eddie, quick message just for the people tuned in right now before we close it off. And 1 second, go ahead, Eddie, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Much love to everyone around the world watching this. The world is healing ever so slowly. We've been through some dark days, but it's it's getting better. I've seen the future, and the future's bright. It really is. And we're going to get there, and quicker than what people think. And there's a lot of warriors that are coming out of the woodwork. Look, Jacob's back, right as I said it.
On cue.
There he is. And
Awesome.
and much love to everybody. I really enjoy joining into these when I can. Being on the other side of the world, I'm usually at work when all this stuff goes down, and I miss out. But yeah, every now and then on a long weekend or a public holiday or something, I get to join in, and yeah, it's made me feel really
Awesome.
good. It's awesome. Thank you, Skull, for everything you do, bro. You're the best, bro. You really are.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, no, it feels good just to come together as community. I know this is really broadcasts like these. They're really important for I know a lot of people. They really do make a difference in their lives and help us connect as community. So thank you, Eddie, as well, for being a part of that. So
Namaste,
awesome.
brother.
Namaste, awesome, my dude. All right, and Eddie, be sure to post your links into the YouTube chat so people can find those, and I'll make sure I include them into the show notes afterwards as well in the YouTube info.
Yeah, all right. I've already done my YouTube one.
Yeah. Just to make sure you can post it again. That's cool.
Yeah,
okay, Lisa, Jacob, closing gratitude, closing thoughts that you'd like to be able to express before we wrap it up. Jacob, go ahead.
I'd like to thank you for hosting this broadcast, and I enjoyed listening to everyone's poetry tonight. So thank you.
All right, and thank you as well, Jacob, for bringing it as well, dude. And we'll pass over to Lisa. Lisa, closing thoughts and gratitude for the people tuned in and the community. Just have to unmute yourself real quick, Lisa. There you go. Good now.
Okay, cool. Gratitude. I do gratitude lists every day. So I'm grateful for having survived my path in this human lifetime. I'm grateful for my son picking me to be his mom, my son Damien. I am grateful for everyone and everything, and to be in these amazing transformational times as we really do shift finally this paradigm into something. I'm amazed every day, so I'm actually getting pretty speechless right now, which is rare. But I want to wish everybody peace, love, abundance, and joy, sprinkled with magic and beauty, and a wafting of truth and justice again, and all that stuff that I shared before. And shine on, and I love you, Brendon.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. And Lisa, we'll put your links into the show notes so that people can connect with you there. And what's your main website? It's Transcendence.
Yeah. Do you want me to type it in the box?
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like spelled Tran. We'll get it into the YouTube chat. But yeah, for the people.
I thought I put it in earlier.
Oh, you did. But yeah, just to be able to share it more than once is totally perfect. And again, for the people tuned into this, be sure to check out the show notes afterwards, and you can find that in the YouTube info for links to everyone's profile, so you can check out more there. So yes, thank you again. Just expressing my own personal gratitude for everybody for joining in, for being a part of this experience. Again, this is play, this is practice, this is a chance for us to be able to like really approach this shift in consciousness in a very like inspiring, community fueled way that is really just, creating space for us to be who we are here to be, to become who we are here to become. And a big part of that is just by showing up, playing the game, leveling up, and doing our part. So thank you everyone for doing your part by being here and by continuing to carry the shift with you where you are. My name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram. Be sure to follow me there. Again, if you enjoyed this broadcast, you can help support on Patreon with a monthly micro donation, and you can join at the $11 level as an option to be able to join as a leading member within the community, which will allow you access to different parts of the team chat, access to me for media consultation, additional discounts at the shop, and also to be able to join future on-air broadcasts such as this one. So thank you again to our Patreon supporters, and thank you again to everyone, to all of our supporters. Your support is equally appreciated in all forms. So by sharing this, liking it on YouTube, commenting down below, wherever it is, letting your friend know about it by word of mouth, is all greatly appreciated. So thank you everyone. And again, check out all the links down below for everything that you need to connect. And we will be here again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Synergy Circle, and stay tuned for more information on that as we get closer to the date. So wishing everyone, and I will just say, heads up on this, I do have the intention, I'd like to do like a special global meditation on November 11th for the 11/11 portal. So stay tuned for that. We did an awesome one last year, and I'd like to be able to do that again, and that would be on the Monday. So if anything, we might have like a broadcast Sunday and then like a bonus broadcast Monday. We'll see. I still have to kind of like tap in and see what feels best there, but either way, be sure to check that out. And thank you again, everyone, just so much for being here. And with that said, we are ready to wrap up this broadcast. Be sure to join the team chat. I'll post a link for the team chat into the YouTube for those of you who are here live now who haven't already connected. And yeah, thank you again. Much love, everyone. Good job, team. Well done. So everyone here, join me in making some noise and sending some love out to everyone who tuned in. And we will get ready to play the outro music. And yeah, the mission continues. So go ahead, everyone, make some noise and send some love out to all the people tuned into this. So no crazy drumming too much. Okay, all right. Okay, make some noise. Okay. We love you.
Ragnar.
Okay. Awesome. All right, thank you again, team. And if you guys can just switch over to mute, play the outro music, and we are good to go. Much love, everyone. Keep it shifty, and I will see you in the future. Special thank you to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this broadcast. Be sure to check out more of Danny's work in the YouTube info below. Thank you, Danny.